The hearing of the Committee on Finance is hereby resumed. This morning we will hear the proposed budget of the DILG family as well as its attached agencies. We would like to welcome the members of the DILG family headed by its distinguished secretary, Secretary Ma Rojas. If you have a presentation, sir, you may proceed. Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present the budget for the DILG for the 2015 fiscal year. Before I begin, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to acknowledge the entire DILG family and its leadership is present. First, Senior Undersecretary Ostir Panadero, Undersecretary Edwin Enrile, Undersecretary Bimbo Fernandez, Deputy Chairman Ed Escueta of the NAPOLCOM, General Rick De Leon of the PPSC, Johnny Mamaril of the BJMP, and BFP, and NGA is likewise represented, and sitting in for Director General Purisima is the OIC of the PNP, Deputy Director General for Administration, Phil Rojas. We'd also like to acknowledge, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, the presence of the delegation from the League of Municipalities who are here, Mayor Blueboy Abisamis, who are present, Mayor Manong Rudy Albano, LMP President of Isabela.
Manong Rudy, you sit here. Malay mo, matanong kayo.
Mayor Boyet Inares of Rizal, from the Liga ng mga Barangay, Board Member Ed Abisamis, the National President, Liga ng mga Barangay, Board Member Boy Zuniga, it's SecGen, Board Member Patrick Agustin, and Gerard Ramiro, it's National Executive Vice President and Vice President for Mindanao. We also have representatives from civil society groups, Faustino Caido and Rene Lopez from Southern Tagalog region, and others that are still filtering in. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,
Secretary, before you proceed,
yes,
just to dispense of one matter so that we can get the document while you're making the presentation. We are in receipt of a letter signed by Deputy Director General Rojas on the inability of General Purisima to attend this morning's hearing. Wala pong date yung letter nyo, sir? Or hindi yung nakuha sa fax? When was your letter dated?
That's yesterday, sir.
Yesterday? May we know the convention or meeting attended by General Purisima, given that the invitations were received as early as August 6.
Mr. Chairman, sir, Police Director General Alan Purisima is attending the anti-kidnapping and anti-extortion senior leadership consultation in Bogota, Colombia. And this is the consultation is organized by the United States State Department, sir.
By ATA?
Yes, sir.
Can you give us, sir, the details of that? Because we tried to look it up. We couldn't find any. Kindly give us the details of that in case po may magtanong po sa akin. Because we will proceed with the hearing. In case lang po may magtanong later or pag-attend po ng ibang senador. Just the details of that convention or consultation in Bogota, right?
Yes, sir. We will furnish the committee a copy of the travel orders and the invitation from the U.S. state government, sir.
Please, pakipahanap na lang po para in case may magtanong, settle na yun.
We are ready, sir.
And I presume you can answer all the questions and queries in the absence of PNP Chief Purisima.
To the best of my ability, sir.
You will, sir. Please proceed, Secretary Rojas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we are here to present the DILG budget for fiscal year 2015 as contained in the National Expenditure Program, the NEP. It amounts to 104.571 billion, cut up as between 16 billion for the local government sector and 88 billion .4 for the interior sector. Interior being comprised of the PNP, the BFP, the Public Safety College, and the units having to do with the security. At this point, may I ask Undersecretary Austir Panadero to go through the slides. We have a very short slide presentation and then save time for the
Yes.
questions.
Mga ilang minutes, Yusek Panadero, sir?
Mga 10 minutes, Mr. Chairman.
10.
Mr. Chairman. It's basically 15 slides.
Please proceed, sir. Yusek Panadero, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning po. Just moving on, almost 3/4 of this budget that has been mentioned by the Secretary is for personal services, and the rest for maintenance and other operating expense and capital outlays. When compared with our current appropriations, Mr. Chairman, our proposed budget is higher by 4.275 billion, although our personal services and capital outlays are lower than their current levels. As previously stated, our personal services is lower by 1% or 499.8 million as compared to our current budget on PS. And this is largely due to the following. First, the decrease in the longevity pay for 5,800 uniformed personnel projected to retire, and 3 unfilled positions of non-uniformed personnel at the Philippine National Police. And second, the unfilled positions in the DILG proper itself. And last reason, Mr. Chairman, is that the implementation of the rationalization plan in the Philippine Public Safety College resulted to this situation as well. The increase, on the other hand, Mr. Chairman, will be used to provide salaries, allowances, and benefits to our new and current officials and personnel, and even to cadets presently training and who will be regular members of our uniformed sector. The decrease in our PS will not, however, hamper our efforts to recruit more policemen, firemen, and jail officers, as the department is authorized under the Miscellaneous Personnel Benefit Funds, or MPBF, to fill up a total of 19,621 positions in the PNP, the Bureau of Fire, and the Bureau of Jail. Once filled up, Mr. Chairman, we will register a 1:570 police to population ratio in 2015. Which is better than the current 1:605 and closer to the 1:500 ideal ratio. Likewise, police visibility is expected to increase as more policemen will be deployed in the streets, because we will also hire 7,561 non-uniformed personnel who will perform administrative tasks in the PNP offices. We will also register a 1:4,543 fireman to population ratio that will, while still far from the ideal 1:2,000, is still better than the current 1:4,800 ratio. Recruitment in the BJMP, Mr. Chairman, will also help in maintaining security in all its jail facilities with the expected bigger jail population next year. On the other hand, on our maintenance and other operating expenses, or MOOE, it will be 34% higher, or by 6.6 billion compared to the current year. The increase will be for the following. First, provision for the operational requirements of our various operating units, like the following: the inflationary cost adjustment, the provision for subsistence and medicines of the projected additional 6,600 inmates in 2015, the provision of the 1,000 peso per capita for each of the 13,000 police recruits this year, provision for repair and maintenance expense of BFP, the general administration and support operations of our mobility and monitoring of our grassroots participatory process projects and other local infrastructure projects. Second, the continuation of the implementation of the projects identified and considered priorities by the people themselves, Mr. Chairman, together with our local officials, civil society organizations, and other local stakeholders. Foremost of such projects, Mr. Chairman, is the Grassroots Participatory Process, or GPP, where the DILG will help cities and municipalities, 1, have safe potable water, 2, implement local infrastructures such as evacuation centers, flood control, and other similar projects for their communities. For our water projects under the GPP, the increase in the budget will enable us to help 700 cities and municipalities implement a total of 919 sub-projects that will bring clean water to their constituents. These numbers are actually bigger than the GPP coverage for water this year. The same holds true for the GPP for local infrastructure, bigger in number of LGUs covered and sub-projects to be implemented compared this year. The LGUs covered is bigger by 551. The same with the number of sub-projects to be carried out, from 786 this year to 1,068 in 2015. We would like to reiterate, Mr. Chairman, that the projects to be implemented by the LGUs for 2015 under the GPP were identified by the communities, by the people themselves, and contained in a document called Local Poverty Reduction Action Plan, or LPRAP, which the Local Poverty Reduction Action Team crafted themselves. The participation of the DILG and the other executive agencies in the GPP is to help ensure that these projects gets into the budget to be funded and implemented next year. Moving on to the other items in our MOO, Mr. Chairman, we'd also like to present to you that the Pamana, or Payapa at Masaganang Pamayanan, and its increased budget. The projects were identified by the people living in the conflict-affected cities and municipalities together with OPAP, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Philippine National Police. They deem such projects crucial in easing their plight and in restoring peace and order in their communities. And the number of LGUs covered and of the sub-projects for 2015, particularly for Pillar 3, where we will help implement LGUs in the implementation of local infrastructure projects. Under Pillar 3, rose from 56 cities and municipalities in 17 Pamana provinces we're helping this year, to a number will increase to 98 in 32 provinces. Furthermore, we will also see an increase in the number of sub-projects from 116 in 2014 to 150 in 2015. Under Pillar 1 of Pamana, Mr. Chairman, on the other hand, we will continue to assist LGUs to have the necessary local institutions and plans that will improve their local capacity to resolve local conflicts, improve local peace and order situation, and improve people's access to justice. Even the number of waterless municipalities, we will help, and in the number of water facilities to be developed under the Sagana or Ligtas na Tubig or Salin Tubig will also increase in 2015. The reason that its budget likewise has increased from 48 waterless communities identified, not only by DILG, Mr. Chairman, but the National Anti-Poverty Commission, and the 87 projects this year will cover 89 waterless communities next year that will complete 204 water systems to bring safe and potable water to the people. I'd like to inform Mr. Chairman, and the members of this committee that one good news about this project is that we now have 42 of the 455 waterless communities that have managed to graduate, meaning they go beyond the 50% threshold on the number of people with access to safe potable water, while another 20 more are expected to graduate this year as well. Moving on, Mr. Chairman, in compliance to Memorandum 57 of the President, the Department will continue to pursue its program to transfer ISFs from danger zones. To this end, the Department, together with Social Welfare and Development, will help ensure that the 26,000 or so ISFs will get their 18,000 dislocation assistance for next year. That will help them as they await their relocation schedules. The Department will likewise continue helping in advancing peace in the countryside and the peace and development agenda of the national government through the Comprehensive Local Integration Program, where from 396 in 2014, we will provide financial assistance to around 900 former rebels. With the financial assistance can be used for their livelihood to become productive members of the community. Third, our 2015 budget will allow us also to perform our mandate to strengthen the capacities of our LGU so that they can similarly perform their duties and responsibilities contained in the local government code and meet the various needs of their constituents. Through the Performance Challenge Fund, we'll be able to provide the well-deserved incentives to provinces, cities, and municipalities that they can use to implement local development projects. This incentive will not be handed to just about any LGU, Mr. Chairman. Only those that will hurdle the very stringent requirements deliberately put in place in our seal of good local governance will qualify for the fund. This will ensure that only the LGUs with significant performance in the areas of A, financial housekeeping, disaster preparedness, C, social protection, D, business competitiveness, peace and order, and public safety can be eligible for the fund. We're proposing a bigger PCF budget for 2015 because we're likewise recommending to raise the amounts of incentives we'll give to qualified LGUs from their current levels. Through the Enhancing LGU Capacity on Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation Program, we will continue to strengthen the capacity of the LGUs to adequately prepare for calamities and disasters. This is in line with our role as the Vice Chair for Disaster Preparedness under the DRRM Act of 2010. Focus of our interventions are the 59 provinces in the 18 major river basins are highly vulnerable, and those in the eastern seaboard. The 171 LGUs badly hit by Typhoon Yolanda and the 48 LGUs in Bohol that fell victims to strong earthquake in 2013. We will help these LGUs, Mr. Chairman, have the necessary capacities, plans, and institutions that can easily be mobilized even before calamities strike. Going to launch also our disaster preparedness protocol checklist that contains the steps to be undertaken by LGU several days ahead of incoming typhoons. Through the budget, we likewise seek, Mr. Chairman, for our Manila Bay cleanup and rehabilitation project, we'll be able to continue performing our role as one of the Mandamos agencies to help clean and rehabilitate Manila Bay, especially in ensuring that the 178 LGUs within the Bay continue to monitor and comply with the private homes, commercial establishments, and factories on existing laws. Our CSO People's Organization program will provide a venue for the people to assess their quality of service of their LGUs to the Citizen Satisfaction Index system. On the other hand, our business-friendly and competitive LGUs will assist 80 cities and municipalities included in the National Governance Priority Areas for 2014 and 15 have the necessary plans, institutions, and simplified regulatory systems and processes. Through the Lupon Tagapamayapa Incentives Awards Project, we'll continue to recognize the critical role of Lupon in resolving conflicts in the countryside. Through our local governance performance management system, we'll likewise continue to measure the performance of our LGUs and in scaling up the seal of good local governance. Moving to capital outlay, Mr. Chairman, our budget for capital outlay will be used to improve our capacity to deliver our mandates, such as the following. For the DILG proper, the procurement of 36 vehicles, part of our refleeting. As part of our assistance to the Informal Settler Families Project, we will also continue moving an estimated 26,000 informal settler families, or ISFs, to safer places with a sturdier housing not far from their sources of livelihood. For the Philippine National Police, the construction of 18 additional police stations will bring to 913 the total number of police stations owned by the PNP itself, while there remains a shortage of 853. The items we're going to procure under the Capability Enhancement Program will be used not only by the current members of the PNP, but also by the new 13,000 we will recruit this year. For the BFP, the construction of 40 fire stations will bring to 1,492 the total number of its fire stations nationwide, for a 91% fill-up rate. The acquisition of 40 new fire trucks will bring to 2,540 the total number of fire trucks, for a 74% fill-up rate. While considered minimal, these fire trucks will definitely improve BFA's response to fire incidents. The procurement of 506 units of self-contained breathing apparatus will help ensure the safety of our firemen responding to fire incidents. From the current 3,166, the number of SCBA will rise to 3,672, although this only represents 36% fill-up rate. For the Bureau of Jail, the additional budget will be used to construct 22 structures, including 6 new jail buildings, 9 perimeter fences, and 4 additional jail cells. Likewise, the proposed budget will be used to procure equipage crucial to the security of jails and safekeeping of inmates. For the Philippine Public Safety College, the budget will be used to complete the construction of the Forensic Science Training Institute building and the second phase of the Philippine National Police Complex, and to purchase several units of vehicles needed for their day-to-day operations. Mr. Chairman, we would like to once again thank this honorable committee for the opportunity you give us to explain our proposed budget for 2015. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yusek Mandaro. I won't delve on the issues yet, as I believe perhaps some of our colleagues will do that. I'll just delve on the budget first. Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Binai. Anytime, Senator Binay, you're ready. Secretary Rojas, please bear with us. We ask that a copy of the NEP be given to you. Please help us walk through it. We'll be asking questions based on specific pages of the NEP on the budget of the DILG. Page 657, that's the second page of the budget of the DILG. Under special provisions. We're literally on the same page, sir. Page 657. Yes, sir. Under special provisions, performance-based challenge fund, the 1 billion fund discussed by Yusek Panadero. For the record, sir, may gantong pondo rin in 2014. Same amount of 1 billion? The mic, sir.
No, sir. The amount was about half in 2014. 503,700.
Para saan po specifically ito? I mean, what exactly are the guidelines before it will be granted? So far, who have been granted? And has the 503 for 014 been depleted?
First, the depletion of the 503 for 2014, it is nearly depleted or in the process of being paid out. The Performance Challenge Fund, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors, is the program that encourages LGUs to step up on their governance functions. In the beginning, when this was started by Secretary Robredo, it was just for stepping up in the financial transparency aspect. So if the LGU fulfilled a certain number of criteria, such as publishing in the GPEBs, their procurement, having no adverse finding from COA, and a number of other transparency and good financial housekeeping parameters, then they are awarded a seal of financial good housekeeping, which comes with it an amount for projects that they can undertake. If they are a town, it's 1 million pesos. If it is a city, it is 3 million pesos. And if they are a province, 7 million pesos. No?
Barangay, none?
None for the barangays. The list of who have received this can be made available.
Kindly just submit that to us. You don't have to go through it.
That's correct. Now, for the 2015, the 1 billion is an increase over the 503, but really is not an increase because the 503 was just a partial payment for these payables. The program of the DILG is only 20% of the LGUs would be winners, so as to encourage an upward movement in the performance. So out of the 1,490 municipalities times 20% is roughly 300.
That's your actuarial study upon which the 1 billion was based?
That's correct, sir. Out of the 144 cities, times 20% is 280, say 288, say 290. Out of the 81 provinces, 20% is 16.
How many provinces do we have now?
81.
Ano yung... It went down to 79 when Sharif Kabunsuan was declared unconstitutional. Dinagat was added.
Yes.
What's the status of that? Is it...
It's a province.
Final na sa Supreme Court?
With a governor, and there was an election, and so on and so forth. And then now the new province is Davao Sur. Davao Occidental.
So 81. Okay.
81. So the 300 times 1 is 300 million. The 290 times 3 is whatever the arithmetic is, and it
total a billion.
It adds up to about $1 billion.
So you can only be entitled to it once.
No, annually you can aspire. The standards increase every year.
The standards increase every year.
So while in the
new
past-
milestones will be established.
That's correct. So the original concept, Mr. Chairman, is that of an escalator or a stairway where what was acceptable or rewardable in a previous period now becomes the standard or the average, and so therefore what is rewarded actually increases. So as an example, whereas before what was rewardable was just financial transparency, for 2015, in addition to good financial housekeeping, the additional parameters of disaster preparedness and social protection have been added. So presence of care facility for children, women, persons with disabilities, or senior citizens, etc., are now additional requirements to be able to qualify for a performance challenge reward.
Who is in charge of this? Who among you, USECs?
Undersecretary Panadero.
Isaac Panadero, we were told that you haven't been submitting quarterly reports. Have you?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think we submitted.
Quarterly? You submitted a report, but GAA says quarterly reports. The requirement is actually the same po for 2014, and the same is true po for 2015. We acknowledge receipt of your report on the utilization of this fund in connection with the budget, but we only got it for this year. We only get it once a year rather than getting it quarterly. If you have submitted, kung kami po yung may pagkukulang, kindly give us a copy of the received quarterly report, if any.
Yes,
if you have submitted any.
we'll do that, Mr. Chairman.
Have you or no?
We will check po, Mr. Chairman.
Kindly find that out, sir.
Yeah.
Number 2 on special provision, the 76 million climate change adaptation and disaster risk management framework. Just broad strokes, Mr. Secretary. Saan po ginagastos ito? Sino magka-qualify na bigyan nito? At para saan po ito? I'm on number 2. Still the same page po.
Mr. Chairman, these are for the recipients of this are the LGUs along the 18 major river basins as determined by DENR and DPWH throughout the country, which by definition have large numbers of informal settlers, formal or informal settlers that are in the declared hazard zones. So these amounts are given to these LGUs to allow them to improve their capacity to evacuate and or warn and or aid these communities. How many LGUs?
What's the criteria in granting what specific amount to which LGU? I presume the LGUs surrounding the 18 major rivers that you mentioned are identified.
Mr. Chairman, the amounts are used for training in 58 provinces and the cities, municipalities, barangays in each of these 58 provinces.
Consolidated na lahat na.
That's correct.
It's only training funds.
That's correct. But it basically is for disaster alertness, flood drills, evacuation drills, alerts, awareness, information dissemination, and so on and so forth.
Can you submit to us, sir, the 18, just for our information, the 18 major,
river basins?
River basins as well as the LGUs surrounding those areas?
So basically, it's the 58 provinces
And
inside
And the municipalities under those 58 provinces?
That's correct.
Mr. Chair,
Senator Binai?
can we also request na pwede nyo i-submit yung, I assume na may training modules ho kayo for the training programs. Can you submit to us the training modules and what is the cost per module?
We will comply.
Thank you, Secretary. Next page, page 658. Item number 3, the Pamana Fund of 3.143743. We asked the OPAP for a similar list, but they pointed to the agencies dahil embedded daw po ito sa budget ng agencies. I won't delve into it really. Just to clarify, walang MILF controlled area na beneficiary ng pamana under DILG.
Meron.
Meron?
Mr. Chairman,
Because
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because according to OPAP, yung pamana raw, labas na ron yung MI areas. Ang pasok daw doon yung mga areas na hindi MI controlled.
Mr. Chairman, I can only say what I know. No?
Please, sir.
I'm not sure exactly what is the definition of MILF controlled areas, whether pasok ang isang project o hindi. I do know that there are projects in Maguindanao, for example, which is one of the provinces where there is substantial MI presence. So whether a particular project would fall within a MI or non-MI area, I would not. But what is clear, Mr. Chairman, is that these projects and the areas that receive the pamana come from a list that is put together by OPAP, Peace Process Advisor, the AFP, and the PNP internal security units that have determined that these projects would aid either in the insurgency and or anti-MI or anti efforts of the government.
Sir, I presume there's a list, Yusek Panadero?
Yes, sir.
Can you submit the list to us? Because as I said, OPAP could not unbundle it for us. Can you submit us the list of projects and perhaps the areas too where these projects will be implemented?
Mr. Chair, I may have misspoken. It's not Maguindanao. It is North Cotabato that may or may not have MI areas, but does have, in fact, BIFF areas. So it's not quite clear whether it's a BIFF or MI or some other such area.
Pasubmit na lang po ng list, Secretary.
Yes.
And still on Pamana, who will implement these projects? Will these projects be downloaded? Who will bid it out?
These are a combination of either downloaded, if the provincial government has the capacity, then it's the provincial government. If not, then it is offloaded or outsourced to DPWH or Armed Forces, Engineering, or some other national government agency.
Yung breakdown po nung 3.143 billion, do you already know how this will be downloaded? Meaning which ones will be done by DPWH, which ones will be done by the LGU, which one will be done by the Engineering Brigade, perhaps?
What we have, Mr. Chairman, is an allocation for the location. The assessment as to capacity to undertake these projects will be done in the course of the latter part of this year into early next year before, in fact, the 2015 monies will be deployed.
Once it is done, Yusek, kindly submit that to us. Chair would like to acknowledge the presence. Senator Poe. Sabi mo sa akin kung gusto nyo na. Game ko na. Chair will continue along these lines of questionings. In the meantime, Chair would like to allow Senator Binai to make her interventions and or queries. Senator Binai, you are recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning po, Secretary
Good morning
Rojas.
po.
Ang DILG po ay naging beneficiary ng DAP, tama po ba?
That is correct.
In fact, nung, I guess, nung 2011, you were not the secretary then.
That's correct.
But do you have a listing of yung DAP projects for that year?
We do, Mr. Chairman. For 2011, it was 1.16 billion. For 2012, it was 1.05 billion.
Siguro, paki-itemize, so what was the 2011 DAP
The
project?
2011 was for ARMM, 500 million. For PNP, 115 million. For
Secretary, paki-explain further, like 500 million ARMM. Ano ho yung proyekto na yun?
these are for potable water within the ito ho yung kabahagi ng mas malawakang programa, maaring nadinig po ninyo sa ibang mga ahensya, yung TISP, Transformation Investment Support Program, para sa ARMM area.
Do you have a listing of yung beneficiary of that 500 million project?
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly submit po to the committee.
We will submit po. Just in general, of that amount, 21 were in Lanao Sur, 31 were in Maguindanao, 2 were in Basilan, 8 in Sulu, 9 in Tawi-Tawi, and 1 in Maguindanao, Parang, in the town of Parang, Maguindanao. So these were water projects, more or less amounting to 500 million for 2011. For also in 2011, the PNP received 115 million pesos for its MOOE. If you will recall, there was a program in the PNP to equalize the MOOE on a per station basis amounting to 1,000 pesos per policeman stationed in that station. This was in order to counter observations that the MOOEs were not fairly or equitably distributed among the stations nationwide. So at the time, there was a program to sort of even it out by saying more or less for a year, for every one policeman stationed in a particular station, then there would be at a minimum 1,000 pesos of MOOE that would be allocated to that station.
Secretary, can you please submit the listing of the stations and how many policemen per station?
That's what we will be. Can I direct the PNP to prepare that list? And then also for that list, for that same year, 250 million also for the ARMM, for the TISP, governmental reforms, to include the Performance Challenge Fund pertaining to the ARMM.
May beneficiary din hutan na mga LG?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you kindly submit the list?
We will do that.
Ano total na?
This is all years, di ba? All years.
Minus 1.1.
This is
1.6.
anong taon ito?
Minus
This is all years. Itong totals are all years. Ito is just for the year. Hmm?
Ito yung total.
Kaya nga, so ito yung...
For the national government,
Yeah.
this one is for...
No, hold on. So this is the 1.16.
Meron after
And then this is the 105. 2.86. Yeah, and then each one. Which one is this?
this one was the project, sir.
For all of it na, all
Yes,
years,
sir.
all
This
years.
one yung actual nagamit lang natin.
Okay. For the information of the committee, of the 2011, out of the 1.16 allocated, 868 was actually obligated and deployed.
So ano ho nangyari dun sa balanse?
Reverted.
Kasi dun ho sa sinabit ni Secretary Abad, meron ho dong special capacity building for POs and NGOs. Hindi ho natuloy itong proyekto na to.
Of the natuloy ho, for example, out of the CSO empowerment na 43, only 5 was deployed at the time.
5 million ho?
5.3.
5.3 million. So, kasama ho yun dun sa 1.16 billion.
That's correct, but that's why it's only 868 ang
So,
na-obligate.
5.3 million was only used
Of the 43.
of the 43. what was
And
this
of the,
project for?
this is for the training of the CSOs, because this was the start of the BUB at the time.
Ilang POs, NGOs who yung that availed of this training?
We will, we don't have the number. We can have the list and we'll provide that to the committee.
Yes, please. And siguro per training module ho, how much was the cost? Eh, bakit hindi dinidak ni BBS?
Nancy, kumain ka. Huwag ka magpapayat.
Magkakadiabetes ako siya. For 2012 po.
For 2012, the allocation was 1.05 billion, of which 634 was obligated and deployed.
Magkano ho ulit?
634
Ang na-obligate.
and deployed.
Ano ho itong 634 million?
The amounts of the 634 are, again, for the TISP, 61 million for Basilan. Fire stations, again, for the ARMM TISP, 101 million.
Yung 61 million for Basilan lang ho yun?
63 million.
Just for Basilan?
That's correct. Made up of no, hold on. Excuse me lang, it's yung 63 is the allocation, but what was deployed is only 61. Yes. Correct. So
Okay.
yeah. So
may 2 million na hindi nagamit.
So halimbawa dyan sa 63 or 61 million, of which 61 was deployed, so 36 million was in for infrastructure, particularly in Basilan. In Albarca, 17 million. In Lamitan City, 7.8 million. These were all downloaded to the LGU.
Secretary, when you say deployed, released,
Really, I mean,
Downloaded.
obligated and subsequently.
kaya po naka-plastic yung pagkain para pag hindi nyo nagalaw yung susunod do sa inyo, pwede pang kainin yan. Sorry po sa plastic.
Okay.
May report na ho kayo kung fully completed yung mga projects? For example, yung 36 million, tapos na ho ba yan?
We have a report on a per project basis, and we can make that available.
Kindly submit,
Yes.
please. Yung iba pa hong proyekto. Out of the 634 million.
Sa 634 million that was deployed in 2012, halimbawa, 29 police stations, but I'll give the, this is not per year.
Magkano ho yung sa police stations?
That was over several years po. Let me just get it on a per year basis para.
Hindi po. Noong October, may nakuha kayong saro noong October 9, 2012. 128 million, 210 for 20 police stations. Is part ba to nung 634 million?
Yes, ma'am. For example, in October 9, 2012, there was a SARO, construction of 29 police stations. The obligated amount was 106. The amount actually utilized is 79.9. And to be reverted, because they are accounts payable and unexpended balances, is 26.8.
Can you please give me the list of the 29 stations?
Yes, ma'am.
Ito ho yung,
There is,
ito ho yung ano, no?
we have the regions, but we don't have the towns. We'll make that available.
Ito yung 128 million. Tama po ba? Because for construction...
128
Yeah, kasi for construction of police stations, dalawa ho yung funding na nakuha nyo eh. One was from DAP, which was 128 million 210, and then you got an additional 117,486.
Actually, our records show that in 2012, there were two allocations from DAP for police stations. One is the 29 police stations for 128. That's the 128 that Your Honor referred to. And another is 136 million for police stations in the arm, including patrol vehicles.
DAP din ho yun,
DAP
based
ho.
on your records.
Yes, ma'am.
Wala ho kayong record ng 117,486 million from regular savings na regular use. This data kasi came from DBM, so
Maaari kung savings, maybe it's counted differently from DAP po. But yung sa DAP na confirm nung DBM is 136 million for ARMM police stations and patrol vehicles. Ang amount obligated of the 136 is 132. The 20 amounting to 24 police stations and 23 patrol vehicles.
kindly submit the list po.
Yes, ma'am.
Ano pa ho yung ano?
And then yung sa 128 na nabanggit ho ninyo.
Ano pa ho yung ibang projects?
So for 2012, kabahagi doon is Napolcom vehicles, 27 million. For 34 motor vehicles.
How much ho yan?
Well, 34 plus 4, 38. 27 divided by 38. It's about 600,000, 700,000, roughly 700,000 per vehicle. There are 34 motor vehicles, cars, at 26 million, and
And
4
four
motorcycles at 278.
For, meron pa ho? Or that's it?
A jail facility sa BJMP for 20 million. Of that jail facility of 20 million, only 3.8 was disbursed. The other 15 million was reverted.
Pakiulit ho. Yung 3.8 million was?
No, 20 million was for the jail facility.
Yes. Magkano lang ho yung nagamit?
3.864. So the balance of 15,457 was reverted.
Yeah, pero you got an additional funding of 77 million. Ay, hindi. Tama. Sorry. Ano pala yung subsistence allowance? Tama ho ba yan? Not DAP, but from savings.
Yeah, well, DAP yung...
Okay. Meron pa ho.
Performance, well, for 105, Performance Challenge Fund, 253 million.
Ilang LGUs so yung naging beneficiary for this fund?
69.
And ano yung criteria for you to avail of this fund?
Well, at the time, in 2012, they were being rewarded for 2011 performance, which was compliance with the Seal of Good Financial Housekeeping. Meaning, na-bid out lahat ng mga projects, nakalist sa PhilJEP's website, walang COA adverse finding.
Can you give us ilang percentage na ho ba ng LGUs na compliant dito sa Seal of Good Housekeeping? And can you also name yung towns or cities na hindi pa siya compliant sa Seal of Good Housekeeping?
We can make that available. 84%.
Siguro roughly ho, ilan pa yung hindi
About
compliant?
about 85%, roughly 85% are compliant with financial housekeeping of standard 2011. So 1,006 times 85% is
Yung 85% at 2011. Tama?
no, yeah, the standards kasi ang program nito is every year humihigpit ang standard. So yung standard in 2011 for which 2012 this performance challenge fund was deployed was for their performance in
Yes.
2011.
So sa 2011, 85% ho yung
About
compliant.
roughly 85%
For
were
2012, ilan ho yung compliant?
Same, about the
85
same
din po.
number.
And I assume, iba rin ho yung listahan for 2011, iba rin yung listahan ng 2012.
But there'll be a large overlap because nasa 85% na.
And then for 2013 ho?
There was no assessments in 2013 because tumaas na nga yung standard.
Wala hong assessment. So, I guess for 2013 na budget, wala pa kayong nare-release this year. Am I correct?
There was no assessment 2013, so ang binabayad ngayon is for 2012 and or 2014.
So yung budget nyo ho for 2013 for this performance-based challenge fund,
was to pay for
2012. Kaya nga, yung funding niya for 2013, technically, hindi pa ho nagagalaw because you're still assessing. Am I correct?
Hindi ho. There's no assessment. Yung budget for 2013 is to pay yung hindi na nabigyan or
Ng
hindi,
2012.
ng 2012. It's
So yung budget niya for 2012 does not cover lahat ng awardees for 2012.
that's correct.
Kaya you have to parang may
May utang, may
which
payable
you get from your 2013.
from the next
And
year.
I assume yung 2013 nyo, ganun din. Yung hindi nyo nabayaran ng 2013, i-carry over nyo na 2014.
2014. That's correct. That's why nag-request na kami sa DBM na buuin na ng total para hindi na yung naghahabol year in, year out.
Pero every year you have a budget for this fund.
There is an allocation in the GAA.
Yeah. For example, sa 2011, how much was the fund?
$500 million po.
For 2011?
Oo.
And for 2012?
The 500 million went to 397 LGUs.
For 2011?
Yes. 17 provinces, 33 cities, 347 municipalities.
And magkano ho more or less yung amount that was given out?
It's a 1 million per municipality, 3 million per city, and 7 million per province.
Until this year, same amount?
Same.
Hindi nyo in-increase?
Hindi ho. Ang makikita ho ninyo kung i-arithmetic ho ninyo itong 347, 33, and 17, so sobra siya sa 500.
And
Kaya-
this is separate from GPB?
That's separate po.
Sige po. For 2012, how much yung budget niyo?
1.003,
1 billion?
1 billion, 3 million. That went to 563 LGUs.
Plus, I guess, plus the 253 million. Kasi you got an
Yes,
additional
yes,
funding.
yes,
So
from the
1 billion 256 million for 2012.
For 2012. That went to 59 provinces, 71 cities, and 433 municipalities. So halimbawa, yung 433 municipalities,
Pero ito, the number that you gave, hindi pa ho bayad lahat yan, di ba?
that's correct. There's always a
Siguro can you give
habol.
us a data na, like, sa 2011, ito talaga yung award, yung LGUs who's supposed to get that amount but did not get it, 2013 nila
Dito
nakuha.
na po, yes. So we can flow it out.
Sige po. Meron pa ho. For 2012?
For 2012, yung sa Basilan, let me just go through the list. I don't know
Okay.
kung ano na-take up. No? There's a Basilan projects, TISP fire stations, Performance Challenge Fund, NAPOLCOM Office, ARMM TISP police stations, ARMM TISP jail rehabilitation, 29 police stations, jail, vehicles. Bumubuo ho 1.05, pero yung sa 1.05 na yan, ang na-obligate is 634.
Okay. And for 2013 po?
For 2013, ang allocation is 2.86 billion. And except for 7 million, everything was reverted.
Wait, except for 7 million. 7 million lang ho yung nagamit nyo out of the 2.86 billion?
That's correct.
And ano ho yung 7 million?
PNP, ano? These were the repair of PNP stations nationwide, amounting to 7 million pesos. The actual budget for the PNP was
Yung 2.86 billion ho, what was it for? Can you
About
give us a breakdown of the 2.86 billion?
945 for patrol jeeps, 883 for assault rifles, 99 for mobile radio.
Wala ho itong budget din sa GAA nyo for this?
Meron ho, pero
projects?
kulang. I mean, I'm sure na nakakatanggap din kayo ng mga hiling mula sa mga mayors na patrol jeep, sasakyan, etc. So, nung nagkaroon nga nung savings, ay ito yung isa sa mga priorities na sinumitin natin at naaprubahan nung sa DAP na pagkalooban ng sasakyan ng mga police. That's about 1,000 stations. There are 1,700 police stations nationwide. So it is 945 million for roughly 900 patrol jeeps. About of the PNP men and women in the field, there's an addition. There's still about 40%, if I not remember the number correctly, that do not have an assault rifle. This excludes those that are assigned in the cities. These are the men and women out in the countryside. No? So this was the program for filling up the need of equipping the police. So 883 mobile radios. This is the 99.9 million. Well, to buy radios. This would have bought 4,000, nearly 5,000 radios. The assault rifle would have translated to 17,680 rifles. And a large amount, 550 million, was for the firearms identification system, which is the digitization of all of the ballistics information in all registered firearms, which right now are in analog system, but which are ineffective and inefficient in terms of crime investigation. Kaya minarapat na i-digitize ito para maging mala CSI paghanap nitong mga ballistics information na ito.
But sinasabi nyo nga, there was a need for this equipment, but you did not use the money.
The procurement, hindi naman ho binigay ito in the beginning of the year. Binigay ho ito end of July. So, given the procurement period, so nagsimula yung procurement, pagkatapos ho nun, lumabas na yung sa Supreme Court. So na while we may have published and we're in the middle of the procurement period, since lumabas na yung sa Supreme Court decision, de minarapat
Anong
na
year
hindi na.
lumabas? Kakalabas lang naman ng Supreme Court decision about that, diba?
This is 2013 ho ito.
July.
July 29. So palagay mo, August 1, 2013. From the time
Ilang days ba bago nyo na bibid out yung mga projects?
matagal ho, because then kung ano yung specifications, ano yung
But when you
big
requested
documents.
for this money, more or less, hindi nyo pa ho alam yung specifications.
Medyo
And-
general na yung
Kasi
specifications.
diba, like yung paulit-ulit na sinasabi ni Senator Escudero, like for example, DPWH, before they get the funding, more or less, alam na nila yung terms of reference para pag nandiyan na yung pondo, madali na nilang magagamit. So how come this was not done for this much needed projects?
Ma'am, I can only say that it takes takes time to write up the specifications. Halimbawa, sa replay, whether ayon ba ito sa AFP or different standard.
So, I guess now,
and so
like
on
for
and so
example,
forth.
you will be getting money for these projects. Gaano katagal ho bago nyo, siguro, gaano katagal bago makuha ng mga police natin itong mga rifle na to? From the time that you will get the funding, ilang months nyo ba mabibid out to? Ilang months bago ma-deliver? Kasi, kung sinasabi nyo matagal yung proseso, baka kahit bigyan mo namin kayo ng pera ngayon, 2 years from now or ilang years pa bago makukuha ng mga police natin yung kailangan nilang mga equipment.
Well, kung itong mga ito ay natenga ho in the middle of the bidding process, so ilalabas lang kung ano yung nasa bidding process. Kung bigyan niyo ho kami ngayon ng halimbawa...
I guess based from experience, di ba you already procured rifle? Tama ho ba?
Hindi, natigil ho yun.
So wala pa ho kayo nabibigay ng mga barel?
Yung nabili hong baril was the short firearm na...
Siguro
na
yung sa
Glock.
short firearms, how long did it take you to procure that short firearm?
More than a year.
More than a year. Bago ho nyo na-release dun sa mga police?
No, bago ho na-award, yung pag-deliver is after that pa.
So 1 year more than a year yung pagpaprocure, tapos additional 3 months bago nyo pa na-release dun sa mga police natin.
Yes, ma'am.
Yung
Yes, sir.
kapasyon. Sige po, so 7 million. Yun lang ho yung... Meron pa ho iba?
Wala na ho.
Pero nung 2013 din ho, you got 10 million. Pero hindi ho siya DAP. From savings to purchase motor vehicle. Tama po ba? Ano ho to? Feb 14, 2013.
Napolcom?
Office of the Secretary?
Napolcom ba?
Hindi ho, Office of the Secretary.
These were for Napolcom vehicles.
But under the budget of the Office of the Secretary.
I'm the chairman of Napolcom.
What was this for?
For the vehicles of Napolcom.
Ilan ho yung 10 million?
They're roughly, yeah, because may mga motorsiklo dyan. So roughly about 1 million kung utility vehicles, roughly 9 vehicles siguro.
So, can you submit na lang ho the list?
Yes, ma'am.
And then nung Thanksgiving ho for Pedro Calungsod, yung PNP ho was given a 1,213,670,000 budget. Tama po ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have will you be asking us for something similar to, para ho sa pagdating ni Pope? Meron ho ba kayong funding requirement for the arrival of the Pope? Have you...
Meron ho, pero we will probably be asking more from the President's contingency fund.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I think that this will be all the expenses relative to the Pope will come in under one request that is all joint out of the DFA.
Okay na. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you, Senator Binai. Again, before the Chair continues with its line of questioning, Chair would like to acknowledge and recognize Senator Poe for her interventions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Mar,
Good morning.
thank you for your presence here today. Actually,
Likewise, Madam Senator.
and to all the other resource personalities also. Secretary, I won't call you anymore for our hearing with the PNP on September 30 because I know that you have a lot also on your plate. So there are certain questions that I would have perhaps asked you then that I would like to ask you now.
Schedule permitting, I'll also attend, Madam Chair. But
It's very generous of you, sir.
Sure.
But last week, I called for a hearing with the PNP. And unfortunately, Chief PNP wasn't able to attend. Now, in light of what's happening now, supposedly the crisis that we have in crime, the perception of perhaps the lack of leadership, one of the resource persons that we had was a member of the Internal Affairs Office of the PNP. And looking at the budget now here, it seems that you have the amount of 549,807,726 for personal services. And from that amount, 77,647,000 is for the internal affairs office. Am I correct?
I
It's page
yes.
page 702, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We got confirmation from the controller of the PNP. Yes.
So, can you define to me what personal services is first? Then we'll go to the internal affairs. Exactly what does personal services include?
All of the salaries, training, recruitment for PNP personnel.
All PNP personnel's 549 million only.
No, no, ma'am.
Ah,
Dinefine lang sa kung magkano yung PS for ES that is incorporated sa PS natin.
The 500 million being referred to is the PS for the IAS service only. The internal affairs service.
there's actually quite an amount here, 549 million, and in particular 77,647,000 for the MOOE.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know what the
Ilan ba?
I'd like to know what their accomplishment report is. How many cases have they investigated during the past year, and what it resulted into? Are there any cases filed or convictions?
For the record, Director Ross, who's the head of the ES?
It's Police Director Alex Roldan, sir.
Director Roldan, would you like to situate yourself somewhere, just in case?
With the microphone.
Somewhere over here. Dito lang. Somewhere here? Somewhere to my right, sir? Dito na lang po.
Dito na.
Diyan na lang, sa gilid?
Sumigit ka na lang dito, then just use the mic.
Ah, okay.
Ilan bang bilang ng IAS? There's roughly 600, ilan? 640 personnel in IAS, and the total PS is 500, what the amount that was mentioned.
That's right.
So,
So 549.
So
So about a million.
So palagay mo 550 divided by 640 is about 850,000 a year, divided by 13 is roughly 6,000 ba ito? 66. Maybe i-breakdown mo ano yung salary, ano yung training, ano yung etc. ng PS.
Maybe we can ask that for later, but for PNP Police Director Roldan, ilan po ba yung cases ninyo na naimbestigahan sa sabihin na natin 2013, or unless meron kayong year to date?
Ma'am, Madam Chair, for the January to August 2030, so we have resolved cases of 614, sir. 614, ma'am, representing the 84%. And we received a total cases of 731, and we resolved the 614 for January to August 2014.
So yung mga iba dito were dismissed.
So in 1 month, you resolved 500 cases? When
No,
it
sir.
took you 6 months to resolve 156?
No, that is the total from January to August.
Yes, sir. It's January. Sir, I have here a document. As of July 31, resolved cases 156 as of from January 1 to July 31. Ang figure nyo is until end of August. So you mean to tell me by the end of August, in 1 month, you resolved over 500 cases?
Including the previous months.
No, yung previous months nga po, 156 eh. January 1 to July 31, 156 cases resolved.
Sir, can I
Please.
the data?
Pakibigay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, yes, Secretary.
it might help clarify matters. No? I understand the document that is in hand referring to cases received January 1 to August 31 of 848. Is that what you have? Okay. I will send this back, sir. This thing says January 1 to July 31.
Yes.
Okay. The cases received 835. Okay. What we have is January 1 to August 31, cases received 848.
Okay.
So between 835 and 848 is 13.
13 was filed in the month of August.
Okay. So we'll give this back, and then that way, kung malapit, because we have January to August.
Admitted.
Your page is August.
What I'm saying,
January
Sec,
to
is,
July.
look at it too. I can still remember it. Cases resolved there is 156 as of July 31. The data given to us by Director Roldan was cases resolved 600 plus. So 156 were resolved from January to July 31, and then all of a sudden 500 were resolved in August? That's possible. I'm just clarifying it.
This data, as I understand, is all administrative cases received by processed by the PNP, not just IAS. Not just IAS. So the question is, what portion of this is IAS?
So we have separated data from admin cases we have been handling.
Okay nga, so dito sa 835 na ito, ilan dito ang IAS?
So
If his data is higher, you gave me a higher figure, difference of 13.
Kaya nga,
So IAS has more cases than the number of cases there?
ano yung total na cases ng IAS?
ito po sir, from January to August, 731 sir.
So of this 835,
So we resolved 600.
wag mo na sa resolve. Doon muna tayo, kung di tayo magsisimula sa universe, wag muna tayo doon sa ano. So dito sa 835, sandali lang. Umaakyat lahat ito sa personnel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so sinong personnel natin?
Willie.
Willie, talaga. Ito lahat ng kaso ng buong PNP, IAS and non-IAS. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's supposed to cover all disciplinary authorities.
All disciplinary authorities, including IAS?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so may bahagi nito na IAS, may bahagi nito na hindi na dumaan sa IAS, pero dinisiplina ng PNP. Is that correct?
Especially the penalized ones.
Okay nga, but yes or no lang muna tayo. Okay. So dito, anong bahagi nito ang sa IAS?
We can look for the breakdown.
You can look for it. So 700 of which
731.
731 is IAS. Okay. Ngayon, doon sa 731 ng IAS, ilan ang na-resolve ninyo?
614 sir, 614.
614 is resolved by IAS. In
600 what? 600?
614.
614
In this time period
from January
to July 31.
no. Ma'am, sir, from
To
January to August, that was the latest.
So this is January to August
2014.
is 614 IAS. Pero yung totality, ito yung tanong yung totality ng buong PNP, both IAS and non-IAS, ang na-resolve is 156 lang hanggang July 31.
Yes.
So ang tanong is, kung ang IAS nag-resolve ng 614, including August, so 614 minus
458.
156.
458, Sec.
458. So, naka 458 resolution ng IAS sa isang buwan. Yan ang tanong.
That's essentially my question. Yes, Director
No,
Roldan.
it is not in 1 month time, sir.
Hindi. Kasi, it's 1 month eh. Kasi, January to July, ang na-resolve is 156. Nung August, naging 614. So kung resolved na sila January to July ng 156, yung 458,
458.
yung 458 ang na-resolve na dagdag sa August na buwan.
Unless the data is given to us was not accurate, Sec. I mean,
Kaya nga, so I'm just asking, I'm trying to also find out. So can we direct na lang the
So we can
Director for Personnel
Yes, sir. Willie Frank.
check na lang.
to
maybe know the name, sir?
ilatag ito?
The Deputy Director, Wilfredo Frank, sir.
Director
Franco.
kindly submit to us the reconciled figures, sir, in coordination with Director Roldan.
Kung ano yung sa IAS, ano yung non-IAS, and within IAS, ano yung na-resolve, ano yung pending, and sa non-IAS, ano yung na-resolve, ano yung pending. Para malinaw yung larawan.
Yes.
Para sa
Thank you very much, sir.
Siguro
Senator Po, you may proceed.
just a follow-up question, no? Kunyari po, merong administrative case ang isang pulis na demote siya o kaya pinaalis siya sa serbisyo o kaya binigyan siya ng kaparusahan. Meron ba kayong database na ang lahat ng presinto na paglilipatan, kunwari, ay merong nakatalang record ng file ng pulis na yon? Meron kayong central database ng human resources files?
We have a database on PNP personnel involved in administrative and criminal cases, ma'am. In their records, we see to it na nailagay po yung administrative at criminal cases nila. So when assignment, promotion comes, nakikita po ito, ma'am.
Salamat po. Ngayon, kasi po, Director Roldan, hindi ba ninyo natunugan na merong mga anomalyang nangyayari dun sa presinto ng La Loma? Dahil marami na rin mga kaso, administrative cases, na di-dismiss lang yung iba, na modus daw ng mga kasama doon. Tapos mismo na rin si Secretary Rojas ang nagsabi na merong mga balita, di umano, wala naman lumalapit para magpatunay nito, na merong quota system na sinasabi, nagbibigay dun sa mga lower ranking officers, nagbibigay sa higher ranking officers. Sa inyo bang investigasyon, hindi ko nasasabihin kung saang lugar ninyo natutunton, pero meron ba kayong mga nakikitang ganon? Kasi internal affairs kayo eh. Kahit hindi nyo sabihin kung anong probinsya, meron na ba?
Wala naman po kaming ma-monitor na ganun po, sir, na yung sinasabing about the quota system, sir. Although we continuously na pinapakondak ko po yung investigation or intelligence po.
So ngayon po wala ha?
Wala.
Wala kayong nakikitang ganon. Sige po, para at least on record na ganon. Ngayon po, Secretary Rojas, dun po sa nabanggit dahil nga dun sa mga nangyayari ngayon, lalong-lalo na nadadawit si Chief PNP sa mga question tungkol sa kanyang pamumuhay. Gusto ko lang po malaman kasi namungkahin ninyo dapat magpa-lifestyle check at ang kinukuha ninyong partner po dito ay ang BIR. Gusto ko lang din po malaman bakit hindi natin naisip yung internal affairs at yung sinabi ninyong lifestyle check, nag-uumpisa na po ba yan? Nag-uumpisa na at ano po ang deadline? Ano pong maaasahan natin?
Sige. Una ho, itong lifestyle check na ito, hindi po bago ito in the sense na lahat po tayo, kawani sa pamahalaan, pumipirma dun sa SALN na sinasabi natin, nagwe-waive tayo na maaaring imbestigahan kung yung ating sinabi doon ay yung buong katotohanan tungkol sa ating pag-aari. So, hindi po meaning isang patakaran na ito na naandyan na. Ang bago ho dito ay tulad nung nangyari sa BIR at saka sa Customs ay magsisimula tayo ng isang programa na para sa PNP bilang tugon dito sa mga panawagan na tungkol sa mga skalawag na pulis at iba pa. So naisip po natin na unang-una yung kredibilidad ng proseso. So kung tulad ng mga katanungan ninyo, kung ang IAS sa ngayon, na andyan na yan ang serbisyo na supposed to be internal affairs, hindi nauungkat or hindi nakikita ito, anong saysay ng panibagong investigasyon na parehas din ang mga kinatawan or ang tanggapan na gagawa nito. So, nakita na may kapangyarihan ang NAPOLCOM na siyang gagawa nitong pagtingin na ito. So, NAPOLCOM, at para nga madagdagan pa yung kredibilidad, ay nakipag-ugnayan ako sa kay Commissioner Kim Enares at saka sa kay Ombudsperson Chit Carpio Morales. Dahil meron na ho kaming MOA with OMB. Meron ng PNP, OMB, MOA eh. Pero medyo malambot or medyo general masyado, kaya nakipag-ugnayan ako sa kay OMB Chit Carpio Morales na pwede pa nating paigtingin ito at patalasin in fact. No? So, umokay naman siya. Although meron siyang caveat na hanggang sa specific level lang sila dahil kung ano man ang matuklasan dito, dadating din sa kanila. So, ayaw nila na maging prosecutor and jury at the same time. No? So, tutulong sila sa technical competence or capacity building, tutulong sila sa sort of policy making, tutulong sila on a case-to-case basis sa specific investigations, pero bilang general rule, gusto nilang, iniiwasan nila na sila mag-imbestiga kasi dadating din sa kanila pagkatapos kung ano yung resulta. So anyway, yung mga MOA with BIR and with OMB are being written up now. No, the legal staffs of each agency are now writing up the respective MOAs and dotting I's and crossing T's. So inaasahan in about a week, maximum 2 weeks, matatapos yung mga kasunduan na yan. Ginagawa din ngayon ng NAPOLCOM yung procedure. Sino at ano ang procedure na gagawin. At nakikita dito, batay doon sa patakaran ng BIR sa kanilang mga tauhan mismo at saka sa Department of Finance, sa kanilang RIPS, yung kanilang Integrity and Public Service Office, na it is going to be complaint-driven. In other words, yung mga, whether anonymous or formal, na ito si Juan de la Cruz, yung kanyang pamumuhay, ganito ganon, etc., dadating yan, papasok yan, whether anonymous or rehistrado, at aatasin ngayon itong bagong tanggapan na ito na titingnan yan. No? At titingnan yung SALN, titingnan yung ITR, kasi kasama yung BIR. Titingnan yung iba, LRA, yung Land Registration Authority, LTO, yung mga sa sasakyan, etc. Titingnan lahat ito para makita nga kung ayon sa batas, the phrase there is manifestly disproportionate. Sa batas, yan ang patakaran. Manifestly disproportionate. Sa anti-graft corrupt practices yan. So, titingnan yan, no? Kung manifestly, ibig sabihin, talagang kitang-kita ang laki ng agwat, then ipapasa ito sa kinaukulan, whether it is ombudsman or sa BIR. No? Ngayon, if it is patently, say, minor, or kasi judgment call, how do you say whether something is disproportionate or not? No? Then it goes through a different process. But basically, ang proseso dito will be, it will look into the complaints that are filed against specific officers.
Sir, alam ko gusto mong maging maayos ang proseso para hindi naman tayo mapagbintangan na nagwi-witch hunt o kaya hindi natin ginagawang legal ang ating trabaho. Pero, kasi ang SALN napaka-diretso po eh. Nakalagay doon, makikita mo naman kung manifestly disproportionate, no? Halimbawa, wala akong kopya ng SALN, pero doon sa mga napapag-report, kung ni-report na 2 milyon, pero alam mo namang ilang ektarya, makikita mo na, hindi yan sa spike ng real estate market. Sa pagbuo kasi natin po ng isang kinatawan na gagawa nito, baka nakakalimutan natin na meron naman tayong, kaya nga PNP, ang trabaho nila ay mag-imbestiga. Baka naman po kayo na lang mismo, pwede ninyong sabihin, ito, imbestigahan na natin ngayon. Sa kaso ni Chief PNP kasi po, kayo yung namamahala ng buong organisasyon. I share your frustration, sir. But on the other hand, I know that you also have to make the appropriate recommendations to the President, and I think that I know you that you feel that you're accountable to the President and to the people, which I feel that in the case of the Chief PNP, with all of the controversy, sa lahat ng kontrobersiya, totoo man o hindi, ay kinakaladkad niya ang pangalan ng institusyon sa ibaba kasama niya. Ngayon, hindi ko sasabihin dahil hindi ko po ito, I have no authority to do this, but kayo po bilang DILG, nandyan ay may kaso na sa ombudsman. Hindi ba pwedeng magtulungan na para mag-imbestiga? Kung kukuha kayo sa NAPOLCOM, kunin ang NAPOLCOM, madali lang po yan. Kung yung utang ng sasakyan 3 years ago, 1.5 million, at nananatiling 1.5 million hanggang ngayon, o ang isang kotse na ang value ay 7 million, at nakalagay pa rin 1.5 million ang halaga, o ang isang bahay na 3 million, pero alam naman natin ilang ektarya, sa tingin ko, doon pa lang makikita na natin na hindi may mali siya at hindi lamang pagkakamali sa paglista. So, hindi ba pwedeng gawin na, o sige, bumuo tayo nito for the long term. Pero sa ngayon, NAPOLCOM, umpisahan na natin to dahil ang liderato at ang mismong PNP ang nalalagay sa alanganin. At kayo naman po, meron kayong kapangyarihan na magrekomenda sa Pangulo kung sa tingin nyo ay makakasama ito sa kabuuan. So, tatanungin ko lang po kayo, Sir, sa inyo bang pananaw ngayon sa nangyayari? And siguro naman nakita niyo yung salin na unang-una kaduda-duda, hindi available sa OP. Na lahat naman tayo at some point na appoint. No? Alam natin na kailangan mag-file doon, wala sa OP. Civil service na halo di umano dun sa rank and file. PNP mismo ayaw maglabas. Sabi nga po ninyo, lahat tayo ay may pananagutan na may salin tayo na tama na dapat pwedeng busisiin. Hindi ba ninyo ano po ang marerekomenda ninyo ngayon sa Pangulo ukol sa liderato ng PNP?
Darating ho ang Pangulo bukas at palagay ko isa ito sa mga unang bagay na tutunghayan ng konversasyon, no? Maliban sa ng pasalubong. pero masalimuot, maselan na bagay ito. Hindi, kung mamarapatin po ninyo, hindi ko po gustong lumalim masyado yung ating pag-uusap dahil wala naman po dito yung tao, no? At meron pa, alam ko ho na kayo ho ay isang fair na tao at hindi nyo gusto na mapasa walang proseso, nasa tamang proseso itong mga bagay na ito. Ang punto po dito, palagay ko, ay naandyan na yan at dadating sa katotohanan itong prosesong ito. At sa ganung paraan ay makakakilos ng tama ang pamunuan. No? Masasabi ko lang is that it's being investigated, as I understand, by the Ombudsman. We ourselves, well, I mean, as a courtesy, wala rito yung tao, kaya dadating siya in about 2 or 3 days. So at that point...
Secretary, I'm sorry, we've extended him so much courtesy already, and he's sending a representative who should be able to answer for him, and that's the reason why I think he's assigned you, Mr. Director Rojas. But Secretary Rojas, I also understand also your situation, and perhaps there are certain situations where you have to be able to discuss this with the President in confidentiality. But in this particular case, I feel that a leader should have a purpose higher than himself. And all of us, I feel that it's unfair to the PNP, especially to the others, if the topmost person is not even available to defend the institution during a budget hearing, or to be able to articulate to us what the institution needs, even not for himself, for the people that he is leading. So I trust and I know also that you're very fair, and that's why it's not very easy for us to make immediate pronouncements. But in light of the disparities listed in the SALN, I think it shouldn't be too difficult if we really have the will to come up with a conclusion, NAPOLCOM. I think this is your chance to be able to prove that you're an independent body and that you can conduct an investigation swiftly. This is one example for that. I think my other follow-up question, Mr. Chairman, is about the White House in the PNP. At first, I didn't think much about it because whatever structure we have in the PNP or in the government will be left there long after our term has expired. And even the National Museum Foundation, we accept donations. That's fine unless it's transparent. So you're the head of the DILG, so you have the PNP under you. I'm sure you're privy to the situation of the White House. It's fine if it's restored, but are you aware of who the donors are? Are you aware of where the money was actually allocated, sir? And please tell us for the record the exact amount.
Madam Chair, I am not aware of the specifics. I know in generality the amount roughly is about 20 million. The head of the agency, Director General Purisima, has said that he will make a list of all of the donors. We are awaiting that list.
Deputy Director Ross, are you aware of the exact figures?
I'm sorry, sir, I do not have the knowledge on the amount of the repair.
The defense of Secretary Ross of General Purisima is nothing less than heroic, actually. But we accepted the fact that he won't be here on the assumption that you would be able to take his place, Director Rojas, and answer some of these queries. Yes,
Mr. Chairman, in fairness to the PNP, I think that Deputy Director General Rojas with a J, parang hindi ko dinidepensa na. No.
I gathered as much. I took note earlier.
Is here to speak for the PNP and its budgetary requirements, being the Deputy Director General for the administration. I think it is not fair naman to him because he did not sign a mandatsal and would not have.
But Mr. Chair, really quickly, sir. Okay, go ahead.
If I may answer that. It's not fair to bring up these things when he's not here, but neither is it fair to us that he's not here. These questions would have been propounded anyway, either by us or by any member of the Senate. So I'm actually, in any hearing of mine, Secretary Ross has not attended any of our hearings, but it's okay because he always sends representatives who can answer. Since this is an official structure within Camp Crame, shouldn't the PNP hierarchy and leadership be privy to this?
We actually have a document. It's the first time I see it, but there is now a. This has been submitted to the COA auditor in Crame. No? So this is a copy. We'd be happy to send this to you. It is written by the police director in charge of the controllership, Lando Puruganan, who is here. And basically he says that, what it says is that consistent with available documents related to the transaction, we have properly recognized the receipt of donation. So it was received by the PNP through a debit to other structures, amounting to 11,462,745. And it's there's a deed of absolute deed of donation entered into by Mr. Carlos Gonzalez for Ulticon Builders, Attorney Alexander Lopez for Pacific Concrete Corporation, Christopher Pastrana of CAPP Industries as the donors, and Director General Purisima for the PNP as the donee or recipient of the renovated exclusive official residence of the Chief PNP. So these are all the documents. We make it available to the committee.
Kindly just submit that to us, Secretary. Thank you very much. At least nakita nyo na din.
Yeah.
So 20 million, but 20 million is the structure, but 11 million was received in donations. Is that correct?
No, I think the 20 million is a number that has been bruited about, Madam Senator. This appears to be a
more of a correction. So yes, we will appreciate that document, that very elusive document. One other thing that we discussed before is the feasibility study for a national emergency line. When you weren't here, Secretary, and also the Chief PNP, he sent a representative that conducted a study, apparently, regarding this 911-like emergency. And this is what they said. In their study, this is for national, they will have 10 seats, 10 call center agents to man all the lines, and that it will run in the millions. That's all the information they gave us. Our comment was, well, definitely it should run in the millions. And second, 10 people to man phones for 100 million. So I don't think the Chief PNP has really taken us seriously. A year has passed. And apparently our emergency line is still run by a foundation. It's not really a government line. So instead of actually trying to rely on the proactive stand of the PNP, we thought it best now to submit a bill to legislate, to impose on them really the need to be able to establish such a line. So I would like to ask, sir, if with your guidance you will be able to support, because we're still going to ask for their inputs for a technical study of this. Have you come across any studies, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for that opportunity. First of all, we support such an initiative, whether it's through legislation, and maybe we're a little bit slow, but our office is also looking into this. One of the studies that I saw was on this 117, the existing 117, which is a joint venture as between the private sector and the PNP. Basically, the PNP mans the desks, and the equipment is provided by the private sector. 90+% of the calls, and it could be an hyperbole, but it's pretty close to 90, as I recall, are prank calls, directory assistance, jokes, call and hang up, and so on and so forth. No? So it's not a very effective tool. And then you have the phenomenon of LGUs coming up with their own emergency hotlines, which is good in and of itself, but not as effective as we would want it to be. No? Some with more money are able to devote more resources, others with less. It's a little bit not very developed. No? So we would welcome a national hotline. And these are some of the things that we would, if we're talking about potential legislation, Madam Chair, one of our recommendations would be, and we've been working with the phone company on this, no, is to make it possible to use 911, okay, because particularly for the tourists, we have 5 million tourists coming in. We have domestic tourists that go from one province to another. It should not be that we will require our tourists to remember a different number if you're in Boracay versus a different number if you're in Samal versus a different number in other places. No? So, and then it just happens to be that 911 is the international sort of emergency number, and so that's why we're advocating 911. There's a small problem, but actually a big problem. Because there are telephone numbers, regular telephone numbers that are 911. I mean, for example, if you want pizza, you dial 911-1111, diba? And there are other telephone numbers na 911. So that is what we've actually been. I'm actually in communication with both Paulie Nazareno of PLDT but mainly PLDT because they're the ones with the landline system. To what will it take to change the 911 numbers into something else? No, so that's one of our recommendations, to make it one number that is internationally known, particularly for the tourists and both domestic and foreign, and to have it common. That's first. The second is to outsource the technical side. Government is not very good at maintaining the latest relative to the technologies. So I think that you can have contracts, 3-year contracts, 5-year contracts, to have, in effect, to set up the skeleton of the call center, because they're basically just modules and screens and so on and so forth, but they can be manned by PNP or fire or as appropriate, by government personnel. But in effect, the equipment is maintained and purchased by the outsourced or the private sector. That way, if it's broken, change, put something new, and so on and so forth. Yeah, basically that's what it is. And then the third would be the telco or the ICT infrastructure that would then download the information to the appropriate precinct or station. So those are the three sort of themes that we would encourage whatever legislation there could be.
Right. In essence, what you're saying is like a call center, and the problem with the 911 is a prefix problem that's already being used. But I understand that it's also a promotion, also the mindset of the public with regards to why they're doing these prank calls. They basically have no confidence about the line. They don't think it's actually working. But when we have a public service reminder later on, when we have this fully implemented, I'm sure, and also part of the capability is they should be able to trace the call. I don't know if this could be done, but I know call centers, they can tell if you're calling from Minnesota or you're calling from wherever. We should be able to look into that possibility. But the important thing is, if not 911, because it will be a technical nightmare, the problem, we could also do what Australia does, which is 00, for example. But that's another thing. 0 is an operator.
Yeah.
But we can think of another catchy line, just promote it, and in the airports, have that sign already when they come in. This is the national emergency line. In Thailand, they have two, one for locals and one for tourists, because unfortunately for them, unlike us, they don't really speak English. The majority of them wouldn't, but their tourists would need an English-speaking operator. So
we support that and agree to the general direction.
And I think also when there is a national scope in terms of responding to the needs of the public, then there will also be a different mindset among the PNP that they are connected to a central database, and that they can be commanded to do certain tasks, even remotely. So they know that they're accountable to a certain group or figure. That's why, sir, I guess, before I end my line of questioning, I'd like to go back again to my appeal to you, being the head of the DILG. And I think that personally, I know what you probably think about the situation, but as always, you remain prudent to make the strong recommendation to the President about the importance also of the confidence and the trust of the ones being led by the Chief PNP, and that I think that the institution itself is worth saving in terms of the morale of the police officers. So I hope that at the very least, without saying that anybody is guilty, administrative leave will send a good message, just like there are certain senators here who have to be suspended so that they don't influence their office while the trial is going on. So these are a few of the things that just cross my mind at the moment. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since your word carries more weight with the President than mine, then I will transmit it verbatim. But Mr. Chair, Madam Senator,
Please proceed.
I just want to take this opportunity also to say that notwithstanding the challenges that are confronting the PNP, particularly with respect to criminality, there are some bright spots. And if the committee chair, I think he prepared lunch for us, so sayang naman if we already. So can we?
I'm not sure about that. So,
can we?
but the silver lining is that means we should be finished before lunch.
Yes,
Would you rather have lunch?
No, sir. Merienda is fine. But there's still some time. I think it's important. We'll take this opportunity, to two very influential members of the Senate. Can we just load yung NCR natin, Rick? You may have heard of this Operation Lambat that we started in NCR, which basically elevates the PNP response from, never mind the from, to a more analytic, statistics and database and geographic information system-based deployments. the central premise of the program is the old management principle that if you cannot count it, you cannot manage it, right? So the first and most important thing is where is it happening, what is happening, and all of the data relative thereto. No? So the most important first was the data gathering.
How long is this, Sec?
This will be about 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Bilisan mo na lang yung palit ng slide.
Certainly before lunch. Tapos, regrettably, before that muna, wag muna natin yan. Regrettably, we discovered that there is a large gap between reported statistics and actual blotter audited numbers. No? So that was one of our first challenges. So we did that, and then we also audit now the so-called incident report form to make sure that we actually know what is happening on the ground. Now, since the start of this initiative, which is in the middle of this year, you will see now the statistics that pertain. No? In the first half of this year, we took some crimes and just abbreviated them or consolidated them for ease of presentation. No? Murder, homicide, may bangkay. It used to be 32 per week. We're only talking NCR. No? It used to be 32 per week. When we started the campaign, it went down to 25, went back up to 30, and then in the week September 1 to 7, dropped to 19, bumped back up to 24. So the average of the 13 weeks of the effort was 26 per week. But in the last week, it's 13. Okay? We don't claim full credit for the 13, mainly because 2 days of that there were storms and rains, and this is Typhoon Mario. But I think the point we want to bring across is so much better now. PNP can say exactly where each one of these murder homicides happened, where each one of these robbery thefts happened, carnapping, motorcycle theft, and so on and so forth. No? And it can be displayed in a geographic information form. Each of the 38 police station heads now know what their station has relative to this. No? So robbery theft from 664, it's 606. Carnapping from 13, it went up to 18. There's a blip there, and that's being looked into. Likewise with motorcycle theft. No? But if so as not to prolong the presentation, these results are the outcome of intensified police operations. Can we go to the interventions? So each intervention now is actually numbered, no? In terms of, if you look at checkpoints, there are roughly 1,300 checkpoints being undertaken in NCR, 1,891 Oplan Bakal Sita, mobile patrols, there's 5,583 such patrols. Each patrol has a route. Each patrol it's not just drive around like on a joyride or whatever. There is a route. They're supposed to complete a particular sector within a specific time. Likewise with the beat patrols. And then we've been able now to figure out the number of warrants of arrest that are served and each one of the interventions of the police. No? In addition, the PNP itself has been able to add. There's roughly 18,000. Let's go to the next slide. There's roughly 18. Oh, okay, so this is NCRPO just relating the murder, homicide, robbery, theft, carnapping with the interventions. Next slide. So this on a per district. So if, for example, if as chairperson of public order, would you like to look at a particular station, let's say, just as a sample, what would you like? La Loma. Meron ba La Loma? Can we go to QCPD La Loma? Yung sa La Loma? Eric? Huh? You transferred it. Can you just put it up on the board? There are 38 police stations in NCR. Each police station now and each police head has a weekly score sheet. I insist that they now have a score sheet. How many crimes, how many robbery theft, how many carnapping, how many this, how many that happened in your station, and what did you do specifically, so that there is now greater accountability. In fact, in the course of the last 13 or 14 weeks, is Director Balmoria here? Yeah, Mel? This is the NCRPO head, Balmoria. How many have been relieved? There have been, out of the 38 police stations in NCR, 14 have been relieved because either they don't report their numbers properly, or there's, after several interventions, there's no substantial improvement, meaning taken out of their station and put into floating, and then a new person is put in. So there's a score sheet. In other words, simple lang, the attitude is simple lang ang buhay. This is the amount of crime that's happening there. This is the map, the geographic interface that points out where the crimes are. These are the number of your people, and so on and so forth. And so there is now an accountability that is being extracted from the. So this is, can we go now to QCPD? So this is robbery and theft, halimbawa, for the entire NCR. And so we go now to QCPD. Every Wednesday morning, Madam Chair, as our Chair of Public Order, you're welcome every Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock, to go through this, because that's when there is an accounting to the OSEC by the NCR.
Thank you for that open invitation,
Sure, yeah. Any
Mr.
Wednesday.
Secretary.
You can surprise, I mean, you know, it's open.
Surprise.
It happens, yeah. So this is La Loma, no? So you'll have the number of murder, homicides, the robbery, thefts. So for the 13 weeks, June 16 to September 14, it was 12 per week. It's down to 10. Checkpoints went from 40 to 22. Bakal Sita. So everything that's happening in La Loma is actually summarized in this sheet. No? The week, what was the week? What was the date of the EDSA event? Huh?
19?
Yeah. Oh. September 1. So September 1 was the event of the EDSA incident. So you can take a look at the week of September 1 to 7 and then see what the weeks subsequently have been. No?
September 1 to 7?
That is when the EDSA event happened.
Mr. Secretary, wouldn't it possibly, I know the reporting is really good and you put your corporate training in really good use for the benefit of the PNP, but wouldn't this,
much to their consternation,
I'm sure, have another layer perhaps of not untruthful reporting?
There has been.
So the IAS has to really be able to station a person in this for every 38 police stations in NCR.
Well, it doesn't even go through IAS. There is a disciplinary process that's simply followed. If there is a substantial manifest gap in the what's in the blotter versus what's actually reported, then the
Kung ipapa-blotter, sir. Eh baka, ano kasi tinanong niya, yung September, carnapping 1. Kasi buko na sila eh. Nasa media. I mean,
the what happened in EDSA is now in EPD, Mandaluyong, because that's where it happened.
So it's Mandaluyong, not La Loma.
Not in La Loma. But can I ask Director Don Montenegro, Don, or Eric, are you the one here? Can you, this from the Directorate for Intelligence, can you just give a summary? Dito sa my microphone. Yes. How many, for example, what are your slides? Ito, validation of crime incidents. So Eric, you just give the senators a rundown. No? Because there is now an audit, and the audit is by Tambiolo, so that no police station head can know that they're going to be audited or not. So there's a Tambiolo system that happens every week. Given the manpower of DIDM, they can deploy 2 teams out of the 38, no, that gets audited. And so there is a constant audit of what they're reporting versus what's actually in the blotter. and what's actually in the incident report form. So that way we can ensure that the data is valid. Go ahead, Eric.
Good morning, Your Honors. Actually, Mr. Chair, in line with the instruction of the Secretary, the Directorate for Investigation is conducting the audit on the crimes reported by the different police stations. We do it by checking the records in the blotter, which are supposed to record all the incidents that are happening in the police station. To allow with this, we have a new policy that aside from the blotter, an incident report form is being accomplished by the reportee. So this report should reach the Directorate for the NCRPO in the Directorate for Investigation. There have been a practice before that some of the crime incidents that happen in a certain police station are not actually reported into the national headquarters to comprise the national record for our crime incident. So there was a perception then that we have a low crime incident, but in fact, there were higher crime incidents that were not reported.
The statistics were not in conformity with the people's sense of criminality on the rise, because the statistics were much nicer than the reality on the ground. And the cause of that was underreporting of what's in the blotter. Our citizens know na dapat i-blotter yan. I mean, in their training, their instinct, their education is dapat i-blotter yan. Ang nangyayari is in the summarization from blotter to report to headquarters, nagkakagap.
So walang internet connection pa yan, Sec? At least the stations in NCR.
Ngayon, but I'll get to that, Mr. Chairman. Yeah. So ang nangyayari ngayon is we are transitioning from analog, which is a blotter, handwritten, to the incident report form, which is a online, electronic, digitized version of the blotter.
When will that be implemented, sir?
That is being implemented now, and that's what's being audited also.
No, what do you mean by being implemented? All the 38 yes. Stations in NCR, online and?
Yes. And in fact, if you're a citizen, when you give your accounting or kung nagsasalaysay ka na kung ano nangyari, supposed to be, imbis na sinusulat yan, kinikina yan doon sa computer, pag pindot niyan, automatic nasa incident report form, nasa server, nasa ICT,
database
na. And we are just completing the entire process so that each citizen now will be given a unique alphanumeric reference code for their complaint para pwede nila ngayong i-track. In other words, kung bumili ka sa Amazon, kahit sa buong mundo, mahahanap mo yung pakete mo, di ba, yung binili mong libro or something. Same thing here. Dapat mahanap mo, ano na nangyari doon sa reklamo ko?
Nasaan like a case number.
May, kumbaga, case number. Or
print out po o verbal bibigay?
Kasama doon sa print
sa
out.
Blatter na.
Ipiprint out eh. Ang ano namin ngayon is nakikipag-ugnayan kami sa Supreme Court because the rules of court still require blotter. So kaya nagdodoble blotter and incident report form. But we're working it out with the Supreme Court na magta-transition na magma-migrate into incident report form, which can now be submitted in court proceedings.
Sir, also maybe a suggestion. I know you were thinking of the idea of installing CCTV cameras in all precincts, no? Specifically in front of the desk of the person perhaps taking the information in the blotter. Do you already have a budget for that, sir? Or
I'm sure that we can find a budget. That we have not, frankly, we focused first on the memorandum circular to the LGUs to have CCTV in national chains. Many of whom already have it, but what we are asking is that there be at least one camera pointed to the street scene outside. Their CCTVs, understandably, are for their shop, which is good if their shop is the target. We're asking them to put now, and now the memorandum circular has gone out, and so the LGUs of Metro Manila are putting out the ordinances that one of these cameras now be on the street, so that kung ang biktima is across the street or dumaan, then higher chances na makakapture sa CCTV.
I think also in front of the desk of whoever is in charge of the police station, and they should also have a violation like every time it goes offline, or kasi may excuse yan, ay wala na kasing disk or naubos na yung memory card o ganyan. Violation yon, dapat may multa or merong administrative penalty na kasama.
We will comply. We're only talking of 38 stations. When are we scheduled for plenary?
November.
November. We, at the hazard of over promising, we hope that by plenary we would have implemented that. Now, I'm sure that we can find the money for that, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
So these are the examples of the audit. Halimbawa, Caloocan, reported is 361. Tiningnan yung blotter, it's 1,180. Kaya napalitan yung chief of police dyan. Kasi if you cannot even trust the information, edi wala, I mean, wala tayong pinag-usapan. And so
Can
on
you
and
say
so forth.
floating or cases, at least administrative, filed against them?
Yes, you can. Don, nandiyan ka pala eh. So, you answer. This Director Montenegro.
Because they were relieved for cause, so I guess...
Sir, we have been doing this validation since last year, sir, and we went nationwide.
No, but did you file cases against those that were relieved?
Yes, sir. Last year, sir, 90, sir, yung na-file ng cases dito, sir. 90 chiefs of police.
Administrative?
Opo, sir. Yes, sir. And for these cases, sir, the RD of NCRPO, finailan niya rin ang kaso bukod sa administrative relief. May charges din po finailan RD NCRPO.
Sec, with your permission, let's proceed para matapos tayo.
Yes, sir.
Ang dami niyong papainin eh.
So anyway, this is what's happening sa NCR. Lastly, we are documenting this and putting it into a manual para mabilis yung pag-cascade to the other regions.
Outside of Metro Manila.
Yeah, because there's really only enough time to sort of manage this for NCR right now.
Okay, sir. If you may proceed. Sorry, balik trabaho muna. Sa budget mismo. Still on page 658. So we were on potable water supply. Why did you remove LUA as part of the participants in the execution of the MOA?
It's in the LUA budget. I'm sorry. What is the?
No. Item number 4, page 658.
MOA between the DILG and the respective LGU.
In your 2014 budget, LUA was included. Why was LUA excluded this year?
LUA itself wished to be excluded because these are not their projects. So sabi nila, bakit kami sasama sa isang MOA na hindi aming project ito? Because precisely, LUA's lines don't reach that locality. So LUA is included in the listing of the waterless barangays. The considerations, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, is municipalities with less than 50% water penetration. That comes from LUA. Added to which, municipalities that have high incidence of waterborne disease. That comes from DOH. And then, poorest of the poor municipalities that come from NAPSI. So if you take those three universes and put them all together, the municipalities that comply with all three are the 445.
Agreed. But this is on the implementation side.
Yeah.
LUA, who does the program of work for...
The local engineering, the water... No, but...
Wala na nga ho ang LUA eh.
Ang tanong is, wala na sila sa MOA. Apparently, LUA has their own. But we would not mind if you add others to the MOA. Yeah,
I don't know if it. I just wanted to find out why it was excluded.
Apparently, in the discussions, it was just that LUA has their own project, so they want to focus on that and not be part of things that these monies are downloaded to the LGUs.
So that notwithstanding, they signed the MOAs for 2014.
Prior, yes.
Now, on housing program, your ISF program,
Yes,
item number 5, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yusek, can you do the math? Can you add it and tell me if it totals the same amount? It's exactly the same amount as in 2014, but the amounts indicated are different, so mali ho yung total. Hindi kasi Excel ang ginamit ng DBM eh.
Yung arithmetic? We acknowledge the arithmetic is wrong, but this is
Sir, the 2014 fund was 1.244,606,000, broken down into 700 for medium-rise buildings, 544,606 for interim shelter fund. In 2014.
So it's 700,474,606 for 2015. What is excluded, Mr. Chair, is 70 million pesos for the project management and the social preparation, which I think ought to have been included here.
So can you compute, is it 70 or 68?
68 or 70? 70. By our reckoning, it's 70 million.
$70. Gawin mo ulit.
Ang tanong is 700 plus 474 is 1174. And this is 1244. So it's the difference.
It's
of
the difference.
70. Yeah.
Yes. So the difference is 68?
70.
70?
70.
So we have to change by way of errata the total, or do you want to add the difference of 70 for another item?
But isn't the 70 in the body? It's just not in the special provision. The 70, Mr. Chair, I think is in the body. It's not part of the special provision. So maybe it's just a correction. Diba? Is the 70 in the body, in the main?
Yes, sir.
The 70 is in the body. It's
Submit
just
to us
not
the
in
necessary correction, sir?
Yes.
So that it'll be an accurate depiction of the figures.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, GPB, the DILG portion, water supply pa rin yung GPB, DILG portion?
That's correct. And other local projects to include disaster evacuation sites and local access.
Submit to us the list, sir, please.
We actually have a list. We're quite...
Ang problema ko by geographic eh. We want to do it by agency. Some senators are asking for the breakdown by agency. The problem is, as listed in the budget documents, it's by geographic location. So we want to have that presentation as well as the presentation by department of the GPB projects. That's why we're asking individually from each department the GPB component found in their respective department. I'm sure you have the list. Kindly just submit that to us for the breakdown of the 5.665 billion. Kahit DILG lang, Sec, we'll be asking the DA for that. Just the DILG portion. Yeah, just the DILG portion. We'll be asking DA for that. The breakdown as well.
We'll be leaving this voluminous specific listing with the Senator.
I won't read
Tublon.
that. They'll read that anyway. Just for reference for the other Senator colleagues. Local Governance Performance Management Program Performance-Based Challenge Fund for LGUs. The incentives are also tucked in the 1.003.
That's correct. That's the 1 billion that we were referring to earlier.
What's the 3.7 million for, sir?
That's the children, child-friendly. That's a special amount for child-friendly municipalities. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yes, Your Honor. We're part of the Council for the Welfare of Children, and there's also a special awards program for child-friendly local governments, so we included it there.
Is this still the challenge fund?
That's the PCF. Yeah. Challenge fund. Yeah.
This is the challenge fund. Sir, how would you reconcile that with your special provisions amount of only 1 billion? If it's part of the challenge fund, in the special provisions it makes mention of only 1 billion. This makes mention of 1.00373,700,000 billion. How do you 15, what's the target?
And another 26,000, another set of ISFs further upstream as designated by the DPWH. We are following the routing of DPWH because they want to clear the waterways that are first closest to Manila Bay and then work upstream accordingly.
Sir, we're about to end the DILG proper. Saan po yung 70 million na sinasabi niyong nandyan naman? Yung difference? Yung nandyan naman, hindi lang nasama doon?
It's just the arithmetic, sir. If you take a look at the special provision, it says 474,606, and here it says 544,606.
Where are you, sir? What page?
Yung the
There,
page
544, the MOE.
Yeah, so 474 plus 70 is 544.
So, would you rather just submit to us your proposal? I think we'd rather just change the amounts contained in the special provision.
Sige, so dagdagan na ito na 70.
Diba?
Or make it 574.
No, I'm just asking because the amounts are exact. If the 70 is tucked in, when will we be finished? If every year we're allocating roughly the same amount, and if we are on target for
this year, roughly, so we're looking at 26, say 25,000 next year, so that's brings you up to 40, so then the balance the year after that. So our target is for this 50,000 in waterways, not counting the number that are in other danger zones that are being looked after by NHA, DPWH, MMDA.
So 15,000 this year, but the funds for the remaining balance to make it 20,000 will be found in 2014.
In 2015, yes. Because there are
these
some
2 years.
Yes.
Mag-overlap na po yan.
Yes, sir.
So it's roughly 2 point, sorry. So it's roughly 1.244 for 20,000 families.
Actually, Mr. Chair, it's more than that because it doesn't count what NHA.
Yeah. Insofar as the ALG is concerned.
As far as we're concerned, yeah.
Thank
so
you,
this
sir.
is mostly made up. This is mostly made up of the 18,000 pesos pabuya or 18,000 pesos dislocation allowance for each one of the families, plus the 700 for the medium-rise buildings that are to be downloaded to the LGUs and CSOs.
Just 2 more questions, sir. An increase of 20 million in traveling expenses from 14 to 15. The reason is? I'm on page 668, sir. Last page na ng DILG proper. Page 668. Under MOE, first item, traveling expenses.
Annex? Well, on the million, it's a million peso
20 million, sir.
from
166 million to 186 million.
we.
Tapos na ako sa DILG. Proper. Before 12.
So is this 6 billion or is this 6 million?
6 billion, sir.
6 billion ba to? Ay, sorry. So this is GPPB?
yeah.
Rather GPB?
Yeah, all of this.
GPB?
In other words, everything that is.
Pamana is included here too.
Yes.
Tama?
So this is a summary.
Sorry, Yusek. Pati ako nalilito eh. I'm trying to make sense of it. Kasi
Kala ko million, kala billion.
billion pala to. Billion. Thank you, sir. If I may proceed to the attached agencies, for the Bureau of Fire
Mr.
Protection.
Chair, just one last question for
Senator Po?
Secretary Rojas.
Yes, ma'am.
The budget for the MOE of each police officer in a precinct is 1,000, am I correct?
That's the minimum.
Minimum? 1,000 minimum, so it can go higher, sir?
Yes,
Per police?
for certain stations with particular unique characteristics, it could be higher.
Can you tell me what the MOE actually covers, sir? Kape, papel, o iba pa yun?
There's actually traveling, training, and school. Everything, all of the expense classes that is in MOE under the category of MOE may qualify as such. So communication, utility, supply, rent.
Rent for
rent.
what, sir?
For the offices.
No, per police officers, 1,000.
No, the
Ano
1,000. The 1,000 doesn't go
Allowance.
to the police officer.
Okay.
So, for example, if you have a police station with 20 officers,
So that's 20,000 a month.
20,000, that station and that captain of that station can expect 20,000 a month.
That includes rent of the precinct?
If depending on whether he is renting. If he's not renting, then he cannot spend it on rent. Then
So-
it's basically utilities and all the other
Including paper, pens?
repairs. Yes.
So it's actually quite on the low side. And then how much liters of gas are they allowed? 8 liters ba a day, or is that a month?
5 liters per day.
Per police officer?
No.
Or for the entire?
Per vehicle.
Per vehicle. So if they only have one, then one. Proactively on the investigation of this alleged collection from other sources to give to the high-ranking officers of the PNP.
Well, whatever quote-unquote bali-balita we get, whether it's by text or kwento-kwento, we refer it to the PNP for them to look into. But in general, what I have received are sort of general statements. Yung mga PNP na yan, na ganito ganon. But I always say, anong lugar, anong presinto, sinong tao, so that
For to the
they can
PNP,
be
which
focused.
officer? Yes, or
Could be to the Chief PNP, it could be to the Deputy Director General, because he's also in charge of
the
administration.
chief PNP?
Yeah. So it just depends on, depending on the rank or on the substance of what's in the text. Then
So
I
if
just
you have
pass it on.
complete confidence in the PNP, you'll still report it to him, of course. That's the reason why.
Well,
I suppose.
I think that just as a matter of course, that's the procedure. Rarely, I don't recall that I've referred anything to NAPOLCOM. Have I, Ed? Have I referred? There may be a few complaints that I may have referred to NAPOLCOM.
But NAPOLCOM, you haven't received anything on that particular issue. Are you doing any
Nothing by way of a formal complaint with substantiations. It's only a matter of general
hearsay,
talks.
yeah. So IAS also reported earlier that they haven't found any leads regarding that. But apparently they're also trying to look into it. I just wanted it for the record, sir. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Poe. Now, Bureau of Fire Protection, you have a copy of the NEP? Of the budget?
Yes, sir.
Page 670. Can you give us a breakdown of where and how you will spend the 800 million addition to the amounts appropriated here in the NEP?
Sir, that is for the fire trucks, sir.
Itong puro fire trucks lang po ito?
Yes, sir.
Can you give us a
Saka fire station, sir.
Can you give us a breakdown of that, sir? How many fire trucks and which fire stations at how much each?
Sir, 76 fire trucks, sir, and 70 fire stations, sir.
Pakisubmit po sa amin, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ko na po hingin yung detalye masyado ngayon. Question, have you been submitting likewise quarterly reports on the utilization of this fund?
Sir, we have not submitted, but we will, sir.
Kindly do so, sir, for 2015. It's a 2014 provision actually in the budget. Kung basahin na natatanggap nyo. It's for the previous year.
Sir, the total amount is 77.6. Sorry, sir. 132 million, sir.
So total license fees collection is 660 million? For the previous year, Ben, sir?
Sir, 2013 po, sir.
That's
Sir,
for-
share po ng fire lang po ito.
Kaya po, ang share ng fire is how much?
132.2 million, sir.
132.2. So I'll multiply that by 5. 20% eh.
Sir, from 1992 po to
No. For 2013.
Sir, for 2013 lang, sir, 6.479 million, sir.
Secretary Mar, how much is the firearms license fees being received?
Maybe there is miscommunication, Mr. Chairman. For example, in the year
2013,
the firearm fees, the totality of firearm fees and other trust receipts is 909
billion.
million.
Million.
There must have been miscommunication. Is 909 million, excuse me, For the quarter? For the year?
This is for the year, sir.
Yeah, for the year. For an entire year is 909.
But this is only the one subjected to scholarships.
Huh?
Is 909 million.
Million.
909 million. Kaya nga, baka there was miscommunication. No? Now, of that 909 million, the fees subject to the percentage for scholarship is 447
1,000.
million. 447 million. In other words, 909
Billion yan.
million. 909 million.
$909 million, 447 million.
909 million is the totality of
The collections.
all collections. Trust receipts.
Get
Firearm fee-
20% of that. That should go to the BFP scholarship.
Yeah, no,
fund.
but not 20% of that. Of that 909, it's made up of two amounts. One is firearm fees, which is 447, and the other is other trust receipts, which is 461. The 20% for scholarships is applicable to the firearms fees. So it's
4.4 million?
No, so it's 20% of 447, which is roughly 90 million, 90 million, goes into scholarships. 90 million.
Sir, 9 million yung total?
No. 909 million.
909, yes.
Okay.
I was hearing
Okay.
909.
9 million ang total. Made up of 447 firearms fees and 462 other receipts. Yung 447 is subject to the 20%, which is roughly 90 million.
For 2014.
For 2013.
No, that's the 2013 revenues. You'll only find that, di ba, malalaman muna kung ano yung base mo ng 20%, I presume, for the previous year. Or do you compute it on the current year?
Current year. So 90 million. Now that 90 million is then broken down as follows. 40% to the PNP, 30% to the AFP, 20% to the BFP, and 10% to the BJMP. So in 2013, the BFP received for its scholarship fund 11 million. 11.675.
Sir, saan galing yung 132 million nyo?
Sir, yung pong 132 million po, magmula po nung 1992 to 20...
Cumulative.
Yes,
Cumulative.
Sir. Opo, sir.
For 2013.
For 2013 po, sir, ang na-receive po namin as per our record is 6.47 million, sir.
So may balanse pa?
Yes, sir.
May utang pa po kayo? Sir?
So there is it happens, but what they're entitled to is 11.675.
Thank you very much, sir. Item number, likewise, sir, quarterly submissions on this. Kindly do so.
Yes, sir.
In 2015, maglalagay na ho kami ng penalty kasi apparently hindi ho nasusunod sa mga nagdaang taon. Number 4, ano po itong criteria na sinusunod nyo sa pagbigay ng MOE? Because if the PNP uses a criteria of not, ano yun, Secretary Mar? Not less than 1,000?
Per person.
Per police officer?
Assigned.
Kayo po, in distributing MOE, item number 4 of page 670. How do you determine that? Ano po yung criteria naman ninyo sa BFP?
Sir, ito po yung engine test in the morning. 10 liters po ito per day.
No. Item number 4 po, MOOE of the operating units of the BFP. The amount appropriated for MOE of the district, city, municipal, etc. shall be subject to a criteria. I am asking. Sa PNP, it's 1,000 per police officer. Sa BFP po, ano yung criteria na sinusunod nyo in distributing your MOOE? Is it per officer 2? Is it per fire truck? Is it, how do you determine it?
Sir, for fire trucks po ito, sir, saka sa fire station, sir. Saka
So
sa,
how do you what's your formula, sir?
Sir, sa fire station, sa response po sa sunog, Required po sa amin ay yung engine test po daily, saka yung pag full tank po yan, pag rumisponde, at kung ilan po yung naubos nilang fuel, kailangan po, yun po ang ibibigay sa kanilang fuel. Pagka,
Sir again, what's the formula po? So pag walang fire truck, wala silang MOE?
meron pong nakaalat doon po, pero hindi po nila magagamit kasi po, basta kung under repair po yung kanilang, meron din po sila for ordinary repairs, yung mga fast moving spare parts.
Again, sir, what's the formula? So it's arbitrary?
Meron po sir yun na quarterly sir.
Again, sir, what's the criteria?
Sir, 10,000 po quarterly per truck.
10,000 pesos quarterly per truck.
Yes, sir.
Lahat na ho ba ng fire stations natin may truck?
Meron pa po, meron pa pong wala, sir.
So yung walang fire truck, wala siya ng 10,000?
Meron pong naka-allocate pero hindi po namin binibigay pagka wala pong truck.
Kaya nga po, pag wala ho siyang fire truck, wala silang MOE.
Yes, sir.
Ganon?
Meron, sir. Sir, merong MOE, sir. Pero, sir, hindi, sir, ibibigay sa kanila, sir, kasi wala po yung truck.
Kaya nga po, meaning so wala nga po silang MOE bibigay. Walang bibigay na MOE sa kanila.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wala man lang silang pangkape. Secretary Mar?
We will submit a
Kindly, sir.
breakdown. Thank you, sir.
Kindly, sir. We need the criteria being used by PNP, for PNP, I don't know if it's sufficient or not, but at least there is a criteria. There is a non-arbitrary and fair, applicable to all criteria na walang masasabing may pinapaboran. So, if ang criteria man, walang fire truck, ganito lang, okay lang din po yan, as long as there is a criteria. Kindly submit that to us, sir. Secretary? Now, sir, page 672. If I may refer you to page 672, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fire Prevention Services, MFO1. PS, 1.239 billion 960,000. Ito po ang sweldo ng mga fireman natin?
Yes po, sir.
Puro mga fireman lang po ito? Fire persons? Ano man tawag natin ngayon?
Firefighters, sir.
Firefighters, sorry. Ito po ang sweldo ng firefighters lang?
Opo, sir.
Walang kasamang clerk dito, firefighters lang po ito?
Sir, meron pong non-uniform personnel.
Okay. Under MFO2, response and suppression of all fires, may PS po kayong 4.7 billion. Ano po ito? Sino po sinusweldohan natin dito?
Salaries and allowances po.
Of who?
Ng mga firefighters po.
Hindi po, yung 1.2 firefighters na ho yun eh. MFO1. Pati ba yung MFO2 firefighters pa rin?
Yes, sir. Opo. Sir, meron po kasing fire prevention branch which are the inspectors. Meron din pong fire suppression branch which ito po yung rumiresponde sa sunog.
So
mga bumbero po yun.
Let's clarify, sir. Yung fire prevention inspectors, are they firefighters?
Yes, sir.
So, yung fire prevention offices nyo yung sinasweldohan ng 1.239?
Yes, sir.
Yung mga nasa truck ho, yung sa fire truck,
sir.
yung 4.7. Yung conduct of fire investigation activities, anong opisina naman po ito?
Sa Intelligence Investigation Division, sir.
There's a separate office.
Yes, sir.
Conduct of emergency medical and rescue activities, sino po yung sinasweldohan natin dito?
Mga bumbero po yan, sir.
Bumbero pa rin po?
Opo, sir.
How would you distinguish that dun sa mga bumbero sa 4.7 million? Billion, rather.
Sir, ang assignment po nila, sir, dun sa Emergency Medical Service Response, sabay po silang rumiresponde sa sunog. Or sometimes po, pagka nag-request po ng response sa medical assistance, sila po yung rumiresponde. But they are, sir, firefighters.
Para mas konti lang po, can we have the breakdown, meaning the positions and the names, kung sino yung sinasweldohan natin ng 185,930,000? Yun ho yung pinaka-konti, kayo na lang huhingi ko.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's just a random check to find out. I ask this question, sir, because Sec, you might be able to discuss this in one of your cabinet meetings. In most departments, the MFO does not correspond to a particular office. I mean, an office performs 2 MFOs, 3 MFOs, or 3 activities under various MFOs. And yet DBM presented it to us as if yung PS corresponds to a particular MFO, when the same office performs 2 separate activities under separate MFOs. So when I asked the agency, sino ba yung sinusweldohan natin dito? They cannot even give us an office because the office performs several MFOs.
We will convey. I think that, Mr. Chair, the DBM tried to convert into meaningful outcomes or meaningful measures what these offices are, because the bureaus themselves are all contributory to an outcome. So in this instance, it's prevention, so all of the inspectors, yun yung sila. Now,
this is roughly clear-cut.
Yeah.
But in other agencies, it's not. Yeah. So when I ask them for a list of names and positions, it actually overlaps and they can't give anything. And my problem with that is, this is an exact breakdown down to the last 1,000 pesos.
At saka may taong bawat isa nito, sir.
So presumably may tao dapat. So how can you, if they were able to do it, ang galing, but we would like to see it.
Yes, sir. We will, at least with respect to the agencies in DILG, we will provide. No?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Just a few more items. I'm on page 675, sir. Ano po itong printing and publication expenses nyo na 36,639,000?
Sir, that is for the fire prevention campaign, sir, printing of fire prevention materials, sir.
And one last point, yung 406,002,000 na capital outlay nyo, this is for what, sir? This on top of the 800 million, right?
Sir, yes, sir. That is for the service establishment program. That is for the municipalities that has no firefighting capability, sir.
So ano po eksakto yung bibili natin dito sa 406 million?
Sir, 40 fire papakonstruct po tayong 40 fire stations, 40 fire trucks.
No, sir. That was the 800 million earlier.
Sir, iba pa po yun, sir. Yung pong 800 million, ang source po ng pan nito yung SAG.
I know. But when I asked you saan pupunta yung 800 million, you said 40 fire stations and 40 fire trucks. I'm asking you now here
Sir,
with the
76 fire trucks po and 70 fire station po yung 800.
Ito on top of.
Apo, sir.
So ilan po ang total fire trucks natin ipo-procure sa 2015?
116, sir.
Secretary Ross, have we solved the problems associated with procurement? I mean, in previous administrations, I could remember that has always been a problem. And in the initial years of the Aquino administration, there were bidding problems as well. Kamusta na po yung pagbibid out ito?
There was a recent bidding by the DBM, PSDBM. No?
Procurement Service.
Procurement Service of the DBM, because these were monies that were about to expire. And this had to do with some of those controversies. And so the money was reverted to the PSDBM. They conducted the bidding, and there was no, as far as we know, there is no controversy, di ba? May kaso ba? Anong
Sir, all of the participating bidders, sir, were disqualified.
By PSDBM?
Yes, sir.
Well,
wala nga problema, wala nagprotesta kasi disqualified lahat eh.
Okay, so
this is for 2014, sir, or 2013?
2014, sir.
Ano nangyari? There is now a present bidding by the BFP, separate from that PSDBM. It was published August 27.
For the same fund that the PSDBM tried to do?
Different.
So may pondo pa tayo hindi nagagamit?
Yes.
Na malapit na mag-lapse?
Hindi po. Yung sa PSDBM, kung naiwan sa BFP yon, maglalapse na yon. Kaya binalik sa PSDBM, sila magbibid. There is current money in BFP arising from their fire code fees and the General Appropriations Act that allows us to put out to bid, and we published this in August 27. There was a pre-bid conference September 3, and then opening of bids is October 3.
That's for 2014 funds as well?
Yes. This is for roughly 400 plus units.
So, for 2014 yan, sir? Yung binibid nyo ngayon? Or 2013?
It will be done, sir, 2014.
No,
But
no.
the funds
Came from?
came from
2010, 12, 11, 12, 13, and
Yun nga yung sinasabi ko eh. I mean, so there have been problems. So since 2010, we have not yet been able to procure one fire truck? Meaning, I'm not attributing the fault to you. I mean, I'm just saying.
No, there were some fire trucks that were procured. These were the Rosenbauers nga, pursuant to the official development assistance. There were controversies relative to the local funds, and so these were all cleaned up, and now the funds are free and available. So they were all lumped together into one bidding, bakbakan sila for 400 mahigit units, half of which will be 1,000 gallons for larger municipalities, and half of which will be 500 gallons for smaller municipalities.
So, just to recap, since 2010, we have not been able to successfully bid out or procure fire trucks other than the ones mentioned by Secretary Ross. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
There were 76, Mr. Chairman, 76 on Rosenbauers that were
Yeah.
successfully procured. There were additional 30. There were 33 that were for ARM, that was DAP funded, that was hindi rin natuloy because natigil yung DAP.
So magkano yung up for bid excluding these amounts?
No, but what's the total peso ABC?
Kung hindi man peso, number of fire trucks.
About 450 mahigit. Depending on in other words, depending on what the winning price is, then it will just, the balance will go to additional. It's about 2.5 billion.
2.5 billion, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So for next year, we will be bidding out 1.2 billion worth of fire trucks and fire stations?
800, sir.
800 plus 400.
Plus 400. Di ba, yung 800, iba pa po yun sa 406.
Sir, this year po yung procurement ng 469.
Kasama yung 400 na yun dito sa 2.5B.
No, so for next year nga po, you have 800 plus 406 for fire stations and fire trucks, or a total of over 1.2 billion.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
That's my understanding.
Parang hindi sa sigurado. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's my understanding too. That's why I was clarifying. Thank you very much, sir. Can you give us the breakdown, especially the locations and areas of the fire stations that you will be constructing?
Yes.
Do you have that list already?
Mr. Chair, the innovation that we have here now is that each fire truck will come along with it with a fire station. Para hindi na yung...
1:1.
Yeah, 1:1. Para, first, it protects the fire truck. It provides an office and area for the firemen. Useless yung magka-fire station ka, wala namang fire truck. Hindi rin maganda na may fire station ka na walang paglalagyan. So, the innovation that we implemented is fire truck comes with a fire station.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Can we proceed to BJMP? Sir, 10% ng firearms license fees, how much have you gotten? For 2013, for example, are the accounts updated too?
We'll submit the data, Mr. Chair.
Are you updated?
Yes, sir. We do not have the... Mr. Chair, we have 26,308,000
For what year?
for
Cumulative or for 1 year?
cumulative, sir.
Since when, sir?
2013, sir. And for actual is that we have 3,240,000 revenues.
Sir, have you been submitting quarterly reports on the utilization of this fund?
Yes, Mr. Chair, kung may kulang, sir, we'll submit.
Kindly do so, sir.
Yes, sir.
As far as we know, hindi. And if indeed you have, kindly show us the received copies. I am on page 677 of the NEP, sir. Volume 3. Subsistence and medicine allowance of prisoners. 1.555,338,000. And 100 for subsistence allowance. Ito po yung pagkain. Yung pa ibig sabihin ng subsistence?
Yes, 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 sir.
Papakita ko sa yung breakdown. 155,533,800 for medicine allowance. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
155. So that's 50 pesos and 5 pesos for meals and medicines respectively.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
How many, saan po galing yung assumption ninyong 85,224 prisoners?
We have, sir, the yearly increase of 8.5%. And for this year po, for the year 2015, meron po tayong 6,677 increase po na projected.
Magkano po ulit? Sorry? 8% increase?
8.5% increase po yearly. So for the year of 2015, sir, we have an increase of 6,677 inmates, sir. Projected yun. For 2014, madam, is 85,224 for this year.
BJMP lang yan.
Magkano po ulit medicine allowance, sir? Sorry?
Medicine allowance, sir, is 12,186,000, sir.
Ano po?
Medicine, sir, 155,
Magkano po yan per capita?
5 pesos per day po. Per inmate, sir. 5 pesos per day per inmate.
So that's a total of 5 pesos per day?
5 pesos per day po.
365 days naman po yung computation nyo o hindi kasama weekend?
365 days po.
So that's 1,825 per prisoner per year.
Yes, sir.
Correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Based on your data, ilan po nagkakasakit? May actuarial po ba kayo yan? Meaning, where did this figure come from? Wala lang, medical allowance. Do you have data on that, sir?
We'll submit, sir, our data for the.
Now, the 50 pesos per day, ano po ito? Anong klaseng pagkain to? O bahala na sila?
Dinivide po namin ang pagkain nila ng 15 pesos sa umaga, then 20 pesos sa tanghali and 15 pesos po sa gabi.
This is supply-driven or demand-driven? Meaning, is this what you can give or is this what they need?
This is what we can give, sir.
So, offhand, based on your data, ano po bilhin o gawin ng 15 pesos na pang-agahan?
Usually, sir, ang naibibigay po namin sa umaga, wala po tayong kanin na naibibigay. Tinapay po, kape, at saka cider champurado po. Yun ang pinaka-basic po na sa umaga.
That's usually what's given or that's what's given every day?
No, sir. It's just a sample of what's given every day.
Basically, sir, my question is, tao ho ito mga to? Do you have a plan? Kumbaga, kung may nutrition program, kumbaga, may average daily nutrients na tinatanggap po ba nila na mabubuhay man lang sila at hindi magkakasakit? The calories needed, there's an actual computation of the calories one should get depending on your weight and age. Do they have a menu per week?
We have, sir, a menu per week. At saka yung calorie content po ngayon, basing sa 50 pesos is 875 po ang computation namin per day. But ang kakailangan po ng isang tao ay 1,500 po minimum. So, kulang po yon.
Saan po galing yung 1,500? Sir, I'll give you an example, ha? I'm 44 years old. I weigh 152 pounds. To maintain my weight, I need 2,100 calories a day. If I want to lose 1 pound a week, I will bring it down by 100 to 150 calories. So, ako na yun, ha? Medyo payat pa ako nung lagi na to. I need 2,100. Again, kung kulang kasi, sir, pwede naman ho magdagdag eh. Gusto ko lang ho malaman dahil kung kawawa naman, Kung masyado naman ng kawawa, pwede naman natin dagdagan eh.
Yes, sir. Pero yung pong budget na binigay sa amin ng 50, nami-maintain po namin 875 calorie. Kasi non-activity po sila eh. Hindi sila masyadong gumagalaw. Not unlike po sa atin. Kasi sa...
May punto kayo doon, may punto kayo doon. Aminin ko, may punto kayo doon.
26. In addition, sir, meron pa kaming proposal para umakyat po ng calorie content.
Wag na, baka maging active pa masyado eh, makipag-away pa.
Gano'n nga po, sir, kasi sobrang congestion po, di na masyado po naggagalaw ang mga inmates po natin. So, ang ganda lang po na compute namin. Pero humihingi po kami ng additional na 26 pesos po, pero hindi po na isama sa above the ceiling.
26 pesos, that's an additional 6 pesos per inmate.
Hindi, sir, additional 26 pesos per inmate po sa 50 to make it 76 para ma-meet po natin yung calorie content na 1,500.
So, magiging 76.
Sana po, yun sa above the ceiling po namin.
So, you need an additional 2 billion?
Hindi po kasama sa NEP yun eh. Yung inihingi po namin to sa DBM, additional po sana na 26 pesos, add po sa 50 pesos to make it 76, pero hindi po na aprobahan.
Kaya po, 26 pesos times 85,224, di ba? Sorry, 2.2 million lang yun. Tama ba? Mali yata yun.
26
How much?
times
85,224, di ba? Times 26. Times 365 pa.
the billion.
808 million.
Yeah. Pero, Mr. Chairman, at this
Secretary
point,
Ross, please.
if meron ho kayong, let's say, assuming na merong 1 billion somewhere in this 2.5 trillion peso budget, no? Can I ask also, BJMP, pwedeng idagdag ito sa 25 pesos per day or 26 pesos per day per inmate, or alternatively, yung 1 billion can go into additional construction. Kasi
pag nilakihan natin, Secretary Ross, baka mas maraming calories na daw yung kailangan nila eh.
Pero it's really, sa totoo lang, sir, anong chance natin na supposed to be we are rehabilitative.
Yes,
not
I agree.
punitive, di ba? Anong chance natin na ma-rehabilitate yan? Subhuman ang condition para silang di ba? So if in other words, ano yung congestion mo, ano yung statistics sa congestion, yung sinabi mo sa akin, yung tapos i-convert mo sa ano yung construction na kakailanganin para kahit makalahati yung congestion na yon, mabigyan ng somewhat human condition yung mga preso.
Kung yung ideal po na space para sa na gusto natin pong ibigay, may bibigay po, we need at least 6 billion po na budget para makapagpatayo po tayo ng facility.
Kindly submit that to us, sir.
Yes, sir.
If we can find the fiscal space, if not the total amount, a portion of that amount,
Yeah.
whether in the programmed or unprogrammed, we will try to do so. But kindly submit us that we have figures. Sir, question lang. Ano po itong capital outlays ninyo? Yung 2 million under general management and supervision? I'm on page 679, sir.
Completion po ito ng regional office ng Caraga, yung Region 13.
Ano po itong 78,968,000 para sa MFO 1? I'm still on the same page. Ano po itong capital outlay na to?
Ito po yung procurement po natin ng yung 39,458 po para sa construction outlay para sa mga buildings, perimeter fences po natin at saka yung additional cells. Yung pong 41,510 ito po yung para sa equipment natin. Short firearms, batons, and handcuff.
Submit to us the breakdown, sir, please.
Yes, sir.
Submit na lang po for
Yes, sir.
2015. Tapos, Yung MOE na 2.4 billion under MFO1, ano po ang sample na pagbabayaran natin ito?
Doon po sa 65% po doon ay ang subsistence allowance ng ating inmate na almost 1.7
doon po
million.
naka-charge yan?
Doon po, sir. Sa MOE po naka-charge.
So yung supplies and materials, doon po naka-charge yan? Sa
Doon din
MOE?
po. Opo. Yun po yung kakulangan.
Ano po itong donations ninyo? It's 62,000, but I'm just curious what it is for. I'm on page 682, sir. Sir?
Ito po yung mga humihingi po ng mga donasyon sa opisina.
Tulad nino
or
po?
Organizations po yung mga natawag na mga for handicap.
Mga walk-in po yan?
Opo, yung mga walk-in po. May mga letters po sila
62,000.
na pinabigyan namin.
Saan po galing yung 62,000 but hindi yung 65?
Yun po ang estimated namin na kung nakaraang taon po.
Thank you very much, sir. Kindly submit us the documents you requested. Now, on Local Government Academy, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, again, just
That's
under...
Maribel sa Sisondillo. Sa Sidon.
Ma'am Maribel, I'm on page 685, ma'am. MFO1, Policy Formulation and Capability Development for Local Government Officials and Department Personnel, 5.436 million for PS. Can you submit to us, ma'am, the office and the employees and the items na sinusweldoan itong item na to? Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm on page 687, ma'am. Why the big jump of nearly 65 million for training and scholarship expenses compared to 2014?
The increase in funds for training is for the support to the grassroots participatory project. This will fund the training of the CSOs that are participating in the grassroots
What component of the 164 million will that be? Yung increase?
It's around, the budget for the GPP CSO training is around 87 million.
So, Yusek, this is on top of the over 500 million that we have for training, monitoring of GPB?
Your Honor, the jump in the LGA, these are the training of the CSOs that the communities actually request, included in the LPROP. So this is for the LGU. Meaning yung, di ba ho, may LPROP, Local Poverty Reduction Plan. Yung menu includes capacity building. Ang
Pero
pinili,
training at capacity building din kayo dun sa 250 million, sabi niyo po kanina.
mayroon din po yun. Pero yun yung overall sa paggawa ng plano, sa pag-monitor ng projects. Ito, related na ito doon sa pangangailangan sa baba talaga ng mga LGUs. Example, kung ang livelihood program nila ay patungkol sa isang say agriculture, binilt-in nila yung capacity building program doon sa budget na yan at inallocate sa DILG.
Give us the breakdown of that, ma'am, so that we can compare.
Yes, sir, we'll do that.
And find out if it's too much or too little. Thank you very much, ma'am. On NAPOLCOM, before I leave that, ma'am, ano tong membership to organizations ninyo? What membership fees are you paying?
We are a member of the Local Government Training Research Institute's Asia Pacific Network.
And you're paying how much there?
50,000 per year.
In pesos or the equivalent in dollars?
In pesos, sir. That's 1,000 approximately, over $1,000 per year.
So may sukli pa tayo doon?
Meron pa. At saka yung, there are also local networks where we're member of the local networks.
Thank you. On NAPOLCOM, sir, I'm on page 692. Development and management of crime prevention programs. Bakit walang PS ang 4A at 4B?
The crime prevention programs are a concern of the of a service in the main office, Your Honor.
Sir, no. You have a breakdown for Region 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Ba't wala?
11, 12, wala. 13, wala. 4A, 4B, wala.
Bakit meron yung iba? Bakit meron iba may PS, iba wala?
Ba't walang PS?
Yung PS yung iba meron.
Nasa MFO, sir, MFO1. MFO1, sir.
I'm on page 692.
Yeah,
Under MFO1. The last item there under MFO1.
Oh, 692.
692. Ito po yung 692, sir.
Ba't wala rin? Regional Office 1.
Regional Office 1.
Ito to.
Region 4A, Region 4B, and Region 12 and 13.
4A.
Sir, yung 4A kasi, sir, yung budget ng Region 4, in-split sa Region 4A and B.
Okay.
And then sa Region 4, isang item lang po ng crime prevention personnel. So nasa kabilang
For your information, Secretary, while they're debating, yes,
Your Honor. When Region 4A and 4B are sharing the personal services budget on MFO1.
What do you mean by they're sharing?
They are almost the same region, except that one is contiguous, the other is island region.
Agree.
So the budget for the PS is mostly in Region 4B.
But there's no allocation for Region 4B.
Sir, walang item sa Region 4.
Walang
Crime
item.
Prevention Officer. Walang
Okay.
Wala kayong crime prevention program sa 4A at 4B?
No, there's no item for a personnel for Region 4A on crime prevention.
Why is that, sir?
It is likely, Your Honor, that it is too close to head office, that whatever is needed by way of crime prevention is already within the ambit of the head office.
If that is the case, sir, what about SOC Sergeant and Caraga? Malayo ho yun sa head office. Wala rin hong PS.
It's really because there's no personnel in those areas, Your Honor.
Obviously, sir, there's no personnel, but my question is why?
Sir, wala pa pong
Kawawa naman ang SOC Sergeant Caraga. Kung wala kayong crime prevention, development and management of crime prevention programs.
I was told, Your Honor, that Caraga, for instance, has no plantilla position for a person.
I agree, sir. My question is why? Bakit nyo inape ang Caraga, SOC Sergeant, na wala silang plantilla? In fact, I'm not even asking you why you have a plantilla positions for Region 3. Malapit-lapit din naman yun sa Metro Manila eh. Why?
We'll
yung personnel po ng Caraga coming from Region 10, nakadetail na po. Kasi walang approved lang po yung position.
Region Caraga has no plantilla position. The person from Region 10, Your Honor, is detailed in Caraga precisely to that function.
I agree,
so
sir.
it is likely a matter of trying to work out a solution in the face of problems related to funding the position allocated for each region,
Sir,
Your Honor.
we are already discussing the solution, sir. Hindi ba tayo pwedeng kumuha ng item sa ibang region, maglagay man lang kayo ng isa o dalawang tao kung saan? Because again, you haven't answered the question, sir. Bakit? Fine, walang item. Ang tanong ko ako, bakit hindi nyo nilagyan ng item? Bakit walang item at all? For this particular MFO in these specific regions. Why is that?
We have been asking the DBM, Your Honor, for funding plantilla positions or even creating new ones. But always the response is there's no budget or it's not.
When you initially presented your budget, why were these overlooked? Why not deduct an amount from the various regions so that you can, within your ceiling, provide items for these regions? Again, sir, when you proposed, ba't naman inapin ng DBM to mga to? So it's DBM's fault why there are no items here?
What we can do, Your Honor, is review all these regions with no personnel and submit to your
Let's correct it in the budget for 2015, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Para yung item nandun talaga sa lugar. Now, on the NAPOLCOM, sir, on the issue of the Holy Dap along EDSA, two of the policemen involved there had pending cases with NAPOLCOM. How long has it been in gestation with the NAPOLCOM? And if we may find out what the universe is, ilan ba ang pending cases po ninyo? At ano yung disposition rate ninyo?
Our latest tally, Your Honor, as of yesterday, September 22,
Yes,
is
sir.
that we have a total of 2,910 pending cases. These cases vary in terms of stages. There are some that are still very new, some are pending
Are very
trial,
old.
and some are awaiting resolutions. So out of these 2,910, we are targeting that by the end of the year, by December, 1,825 will be disposed of.
Sir, 1,000?
1,825.
Sir, what's the average caseload na pumapasok per year? Let's say in 2013, ilan po ang pumasok?
For 2013, Your Honor, on the first quarter, 95.
No, total, sir, for 2013.
375, Your Honor.
Ang pumasok?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilan po ang na-dispose ng NAPOLCOM?
68 have been disposed of.
In 2013, eh?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilan po ang backlog as of end of 2012? So that I can add 375?
I don't have the figure on 2012. But I have a figure, Your Honor, as of the latest, as of yesterday.
As of end of 2013, how many pending cases did you have?
Can you give us some time, Your Honor?
Please, sir.
2013.
If you disposed of 68 cases, sir, in 2013,
Out of the cases that came in 2013, Your Honor.
total dispositions for that year?
For the cases that came in 2013,
No,
yes, Your
total
Honor.
disposition na po.
As of 2013, what was the total disposition?
Hindi po. Of ilan po na-dispose niyong cases nung 2013? The year 2013.
68, Your Honor.
I thought it was 68 out of those filed in 2013 only.
Yes, Your Honor. Out of 375 filed in 2013.
Pero may backlog pa ho kayo eh.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm
what
sure
I,
you had the backlog.
That's what I am
So
trying
how
to...
many did you dispose of total in 2013? I'm not asking for the backlog. I'm asking for the total number of cases disposed of in 2013. 68 out of 375 is only 18%.
We'll ask for some time, Your Honor.
A round figure? Please, sir.
For 2013, Your Honor, in the National Appellate Board, out of our target was 28 out of 54. We had an 82% actual accomplishment of 18 out of 22. For the regional appellate boards, we have 234 out of 260, and 139 out of 140, Your Honor.
Saan po galing yung pending cases nyo na 2,910?
That's only for the region. I'm going to continue, Your Honor. Summary dismissal cases, out of 350, we were able to dispose of 100, a target of 179 over 350. We were able to dispose 67%, 512 over 759.
Sir, how many total number of cases were you able to dispose of in 2013? Total.
So it's on the appellate board, it's 18. RAB, it's 139. And on summary dismissal cases, Your Honor, it's 512.
I have 669.
That's 2013, as of 2013.
669. So you disposed of 669 cases. Tama po, sir? I added the
Yes,
figures
Your
you
Honor. Yeah.
mentioned. 669?
There's a pre-charge evaluation stage, Your Honor, where our target is 1,080. We have a 93% disposal, 913 out of 981.
Target po yun. Actual 2013, sir.
1913 over 981.
Sir, 1913 over...
913, Your Honor.
Over?
Over 981.
So you're able to dispose of 913?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kung mga 90 at 80% nga po kayo, saan galing? At kung ang total new cases filed in 2013 was 375, saan po galing yung backlog yung 2,910? This includes, I presume, the 2 police officers involved in the EDSA hooded up with pending cases before your office since 2011 or 3 years ago?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you're targeting to dispose 1,825
out of 2,910.
That's 62%. What was your batting average in 2013 in relation to the total? If you were able to dispose of about 1,500 cases,
well, 2013 is not yet over, Your Honor, so...
13, sir.
2013.
13. 2013.
Yes, Your Honor.
2013 is over.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm sorry. Out of 375 in 2013, we were able to dispose 68. So it's not a good
It's 18%, sir. It's 18%, sir. Yung cases ba ng dalawang police po na involved, na-resolve niyo na ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you resolve it?
It was... We have actually resolved it
When,
on
sir?
September 17, 2014, Your Honor.
Nagkataon lang o biglang napansin po?
It's the cut-down lang, Your Honor, because The draft decision has been on a ad referendum routing even before the incident happened, Your Honor.
How long has it been routing?
Well, the last...
For how long a period of time has the decision been routing?
We were able to track it down, Your Honor, as late as April, when the case was sent to the Chief PNP, and the Office of the Chief PNP sent it to us with some minor corrections in the first week of April.
So 5 months to route?
First week of September.
So it stayed with the PNP chief for 5 months? That's what you're saying?
From what is on record, Your Honor. And it was at that time, Your Honor, when I think the Chief PNP was mostly out of the country and probably was not able to read the case, to read the decision as soon as it was received.
Thank you very much, sir. Now to the main bulk of the budget of the ILG, the PNP, the Philippine National Police. If I may refer you, sir, Dr. Ross.
J.
With a J. Page 702 on the special provisions. Number 2. Ito po yung pinag-usapan natin kanina na 1,000 per policeman, not less than, Secretary Ross, right? Not less than 1,000 per policeman.
Yes, but not going to the policeman. It goes to the office.
How many policemen do we have?
Roughly 150,000. The exact number is 147,966 as of June.
147,966
as of June.
If I multiply that, sir, by 1,000 times 12, that will give me a total of 1.775,592,000. Saan po mapupunta yung balanse?
As I said, sir, that is the minimum that each office gets. The rest goes to the operations at the regional, provincial, and national level.
But there are policemen there too. So I presume, di ba, kung ilan yung policeman sa provincial office, may MOE sila.
But there are areas and there are offices that have, for example, internal security operations that require more money, more bullets, more gasoline, etc. While the other offices naman, in urban areas, require internet connection and so on.
Kasama
and so
po yung bala sa MOE?
Kasama lahat yan, di ba?
Yes, sir. Bala.
Hindi ba ibang procurement yung bala?
Procurement of firearms, hindi kasama sa bala.
It's part of MOOE, but it's the region that procures it, and it's at the region. But the totality of MOE includes bala.
So when we speak of 1,000 per policeman, that's only 1/2 of the MOE. If you multiply, it's 1.77. If you subtract 177 from 2.6, you have a remaining balance of 1,772. So half of the MOE is appropriated at 1,000 per policeman rather, as a general rule. And the other half, what formula do we use, sir? I'm sure.
As need.
There is a
controller.
MOE. Sir, please.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, the one is
For the record, sir, forgive me, sir. You are Director.
I'm Director Rolando Puruganan, sir.
Director Puruganan,
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
sir. The 1:1,000 per capita excludes the training portion that's being given to the MOE of the region, other utilities, and of course it includes also the ammo that about 200,000 for every region.
I don't disagree, sir. I'm just saying, what's the formula of the One half of the 2.6 billion MOE, nearly 2.7, is 1,000 per policeman. Diba? MOE. The other half, how is that now allocated? What's the formula? What's the logic? What's the rationale? If there is any.
Can you give us time, sir?
Follow, sir. While you're looking at that, sir, so that we don't waste time, Senator Po discussed the IAS. Just out of curiosity, sir, the IAS, are these complaint-driven or initiated from within? Because my assumption when I watch TV, yung internal affairs is initiated by them, by the IAS itself, and not necessarily complaint-driven. Sir, Dr. Ross, sir?
That's correct, sir. Primarily, the IAS has two functions. One is the preventive, and one is the solution and investigation of administrative and criminal cases. For the prevention, sir, they conduct inspection all over the country, and we call it inspection, and we have a term for that. But they conduct all year-round inspection to the different police regional offices. Chine-check sir nila yung uniforms mga tao, performance, at saka
At kung may corrupt, kung may gumawa ng mali.
Yes, sir.
How long has the office been in existence?
Since the creation of PNP, sir, stated in Republic Act 8551. That's about 1992, sir.
Out of curiosity lang po, sir, may kinasuhan na ba ang IAS since its creation na police na tumanggap mula sa weteng?
I will check with that.
Maybe find out, sir? Since its history, since its inception.
No personal punish for receiving wetting payola, sir.
Since its inception? I won't even dare add to it, Secretary Rojas. I won't even, don't also. Sir, can you give us the performance evaluation report of IAS if you have one? Just out of curiosity, to be able to find out the nature of the cases they have been filing against them. Just sabihin ito, sir. Salamat po. If I may continue, sir. Sorry, while we're waiting for that. Personnel and records management, I presume the PS for this of 224 million is for a particular office? What office is that, sir? 224 million. I'm on page 704.
That is for the PS of the NUP, sir.
This is for the PS of the?
NUP.
What's the NUP, sir?
Non-uniform, Mr. Chair. If
Hindi
I
po.
can give you a background, sir.
Sir, I'm on page 704 po, sir. Please, try to. Personnel and records management.
Yes, sir. Those are for the non-uniform. Because for the uniform personnel, it's placed under all of the uniform personnel is under operations. That's why if you can look into the...
So, lahat po ng 224 na ito, puro
non-uniform.
Uniform. Yung 266 na MOE, still for personnel and records management.
Yeah, that's the MOE for under the personnel management, sir.
Ilan po dito yung police? Sabi niyo yung police nasa MOE. PS na operations.
Yes, sir.
Now, page 705, Fiscal Management Services, 135,838 civilian personnel, non-uniform din to?
Yes, sir. Kasi po, sir, yung lahat ng uniform natin nilagay ng DBM sa under operations.
Under MOE?
No, under PS of
Under PS operations.
So that if you will look into the PS of
so wala po tayo doon.
operations.
So lahat po ito, 224 million on page 704, 135, 35. Lahat po yun non-uniform.
Opo.
Plans and services.
Bali 689.
Total of 689 sa non-uniform. Right, sir?
Opo.
So the total PS for non-uniform is 689?
That's under the gas, sir. The total PS for non-NUP is about 1.
Under the gas, sir.
Yes, sir.
Under the gas. Research, development, I'm on page 706, sir. Yung 5 million doon is also, ito, ano to? Police na po ba to? Hindi.
NUP lahat yan, sir.
Non-uniform pa rin to?
Yes, sir.
Nasa support to operations na ako, ha?
Opo, sir.
Provision of hospitalization and healthcare services, 76,992 for PS.
Non-uniform pa rin, sir.
Doctor, nurse, midwife.
Except for the uniform who are doctors and nurses.
Crime prevention, ito na po yung PS nyo for uniform. 59,625,304,000.
Yes, sir. That's for the uniform, sir. And apart yung mga NUP din na under that.
Now, conduct of procurement, transport, storage, distribution, supplies, 177,140,000. This is for employees or policemen in what officer? I'm on page 707, under MFO1.
Under logistics already, sir.
So lahat ng uniform personnel sa logistics, ito po yan. Sila po yung 177 million na sweldo.
Yes, non-uniform.
Wala pong, ano pa? Non-uniform, uniform?
Non-uniform, sir.
Sir, are you sure?
Yung 59 billion, sir, is uniform.
Yes, I'm talking about the 177 under that. So I presume yung mga amounts underneath the MFO1, puro na to uniform.
Yung under operation service, sir, ang magiging uniform. But under the DL, it's still NUP.
Under?
Yung 177 million, sir, is NUP pa rin.
NUP pa rin?
Yes, sir.
So yung 59,356 yung uniform?
Yes, sir. Ito. Pag pumunta ka na sa operation service, sir.
Yung sa next page, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
I see.
356.
Medyo nakakalito, sir, dahil ang operations namin dalawa. Under operations, we have the services which is intelligence, investigation.
So nakalamp lang yung uniform sa 59.6?
Yes, sir.
Walang breakdown yung 59 dito anywhere? Wala, no?
Wala.
Whenever it appears, it only
Yes,
appears as
yes, sir.
59.
Oh, sir.
Yung 2 billion capital outlay, Secretary, kindly submit to us the breakdown of that and the cost per unit of each item procured.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. To give you an idea, the 2 billion is the annual capacity enhancement program, CEP. That 2 billion is roughly 1 billion for another 1,000 vehicles because naunsya may nga kami dun sa DAP. So we'll be buying another 1,000 vehicles.
And 1 billion for?
And the balance would be for some of the other items, rifles, radios, and yung the equipment.
The breakdown, sir?
Yeah.
Submit us the breakdown, sir?
Yes, we have that, yeah. Okay.
And the cost per unit? Conduct of intelligence and counterintelligence activities. I'm on page 709. Non-uniform din po ito, itong 54 million. I'm on page 709, sir. 709.
Opo, sir.
Non-uniform nito.
Opo, sir.
The 535,567 MOE includes already the intelligence funds?
Opo, sir.
So lahat po ng maliliit na amounts dito, basta hindi malaking 58 po ba? 59. Basta hindi po 59 billion, puro non-uniform yan?
Opo, sir.
How many non-uniform do you have, sir?
About 5,000, sir.
Total budget for non-uniformed is how much, sir?
1.3 billion, sir, ang PS nila.
I'm on page 714, sir. Civilian personnel. This includes everyone already, right?
Saan yun?
Page 714.
Yes, sir.
Both uniform and non-uniform?
Nandito na, sir. Yes, sir.
Bakit po ang... So I will add Bakit po ang total niya na is 1.5? So it's 59 plus the 1.5 roughly.
Oh, sir.
That will give you a total of 60.454653 billion for both uniformed and non-uniformed.
Yes, sir.
Would that be accurate, sir?
Yes, sir.
That is found on page 715. No, 60. That's for 2014.
Yes, sir.
60. Supplies and materials expenses, 4.6 billion. Kasama na po dito yung 2 billion na hindi, MOE ito eh. Sorry. Ano po ang kasama dito sa 4.6 billion na supplies and materials? Yung MOE kanina na 2.7 billion. What about the balance? No, 2.7 yun eh. The bala is 2.7, di ba? One half of that, or 1.7, is for 1,000 per head. The other half of 1.773 is for, di ba, yung ibibigay niyo po sa akin mamaya. General, di ba?
Opo, sir.
So, 4.6 billion yung supplies and materials.
Andiyan na. Can you give us time, Mr. Chair?
Kindly submit that to us, sir.
Yes, sir.
I won't belabor the point. Just submit. Para lang po may record kami. Rent and lease expense. Ba't po nag-increase? It's small but still, for our information, by 9 million. Anong dagdag na nirentahan po natin?
We will just submit it, sir.
Kindly do so, sir. Capital outlay, buildings and other structures, 196 million. This is to construct or repair what facility? Police stations po ito? Machinery and equipment outlay, ito po yung barrel and radios, yung ganun?
Opo, sir. Asan na yung po natin? Yung binigay ko niya.
Yung CEP na 2.1, di ba? That's the breakdown.
I have your machinery and equipment outlay, 554,053. I'm on page 715.
Doon, sir, sa 2.1 billion, we have, palagay ko, papasok sa machinery and equipment would include the patrol jeeps.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
No, the transportation equipment outlay is 1.349 billion.
Ayun. So, ito yung machineries would be... Ito na yung bago. Okay. So, anyway, yung 2 billion is broken down to 3 firearms information system storage warehouse buildings. That's 96 million. That probably would be part of the building and other structures na 96.
196, sec.
Yeah, since from the time of the submission, there has been a reconfiguration.
Can you want us to reflect, I presume you would want
Yes.
us to reflect it here.
Para hindi na realignment. Yeah.
Kindly submit it to us para hindi na mag-realign.
Yes, sir.
It's easier. Thank you, sir. Philippine Public Safety College. Ano po yung development expenses, sir? Kayo pala nandyan. Ano yung development expenses, sir?
That is for the curriculum development and as well as the enhancement program for our trainings and education, Mr. Chair.
Ano po yung printing and publication expenses nyo? What is it for?
These are for the manuals and for and other materials needed for training, Mr. Chair. That would include also the syllabus that we are also distributing. Mr. Chair.
And membership to organizations, what type of organizations, sir?
For the organization, we have some relationship and linkages also with the different state universities and colleges.
Give us the
Your
breakdown,
Honor.
sir. Again,
Yes, we
these
will
are
do that, Mr. Chair.
random inquiries. We just would like to know the breakdown.
We'll do that, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir. Just two more points, Mr. Secretary, if you will bear with me. First, you might want to coordinate with,
Sorry, sir.
no, rather ask President Aquino. It's only President Aquino under the NIRC who can order the BIR Commissioner to release copies of the ITRs filed by any individual, be he or she with the government or the private sector. To hasten your lifestyle checks, I guess it would be in the best interest not to intervene with the ITRs filed by any private individual, but anyone in the police force. O wag na ho yung ordinaryong police, yung mga general na lang muna. Di ba? I mean, ITR. But that needs the consent of the President. And secondly, if we're doing lifestyle checks on the generals, you might also want to look at to have a lifestyle check on the lowest level police officer, not to find out if he has amassed ill-gotten wealth, but to find out how his life is. I mean, are we giving him enough? Kung may reklamo tayong may piggery yung kung sinong general, baka naman parang sa baboyan nakatira yung ordinaryong police. If there's any need to increase whatever welfare benefits we're giving them, kindly tell us. We might be able to find the necessary fiscal space for it. Lahat po ba ng sundalo, lahat ng police po ba automatically covered na ng PhilHealth? Automatic?
Yes, sir.
Because we have enough fiscal space for that in 2015. The budget for PhilHealth is for 15 million individuals. Ang NHTS natin is only at less than 5 million. So you would have enough fiscal space for that, if at all. Somewhere along those lines. Yung mga non-uniform personnel po ninyo, automatically covered po?
They would be like GSIS, regular
If they are
GSIS.
contractuals, you have contractuals, I'm sure.
Ano?
Wala tayong contract.
They're all regular, Mr. Chairman.
All regular? And this is the last point, how many will you hire? How many policemen will you hire next year?
10,000.
The number is 10,000. We have a budget of, we have authorization of up to 10,000. We also have 10,000 this year. 13,000 this year, of which only half, di ba?
Magkano na disburse?
Ilan na yung nag-take?
Mga 7...
4,000, sir. Currently recruited na.
4,000. Of the 13,000 this year, 2014, 4,000 have already been successfully recruited.
As of September?
As of September. So there's another 10,000.
So for 2015, you're supposed to hire 10,000 more?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And in
Although I doubt that will actually be attained.
And you will hire a total of 19,621 personnel covering BJMP, BFP. Is that the correct figure from Yusek Panadero? 19,621?
Minus the 10,000 of PNP.
No, kasama na ron.
Kaya nga, so 9,000 for everybody else.
Now, can you give us a computation? Sec, you wanted additional funds. We'll give you the fiscal space. If you can hire only 1/3 of the 13,000 roughly, so if you're projecting that you can hire also roughly only 1/3 in 2015?
I don't know about the 1/3 for the 2015. I think that we will end up with half or maybe 60% of the 13,000 this
what
year.
month will you be able to hire them? This 10,000 or the 6,000 of the 10,000. Anong month nyo pinaproject ma-hire sila?
There is a continuing hiring process, but in any event, all of the monies for these new hires are not with the PNP. They are with the
I know.
miscellaneous personal benefit.
But I intend to take that away from the MPBF and give it to you by way of either MOE or CO. Sayang kasi yung fiscal space. In fact, you can project it already. Kung ilan man yung ma-recruit ninyo, hire 1,000 in March, for example, hire 2,000 by June, whatever, because the MPBF computation is based on the full year, times 13 pa nga siguro yun eh.
It starts in July only, sir.
It starts in July only?
Yes, sir. It's not 1 year.
Same. Same ba na?
Kung anong hindi magagastos kagad, then you will allow us to realize. Yes, sir.
So from within the same ceiling, you can propose either yung sinasabi nyo yung facility sa BJMP, kung magkano man po yun, because it might be a long drawn process to utilize savings. Might as well do everything that you can do and would want to do now during the budget process para hindi na po ma-question pa o matiaro pa.
Well, the nationwide emergency hotline number comes to mind, Mr. Chairman.
Please, sir. Submit it to us. Submit it to us. And also in the unprogrammed fund, kung ano yung priorities nyo that we can put in the program, because we will be having a relatively big fiscal space in the unprogrammed fund as well. We can also put it there. Please, sir, kindly submit that to us.
We will comply, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, sir. Senator Poe?
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the budget of the DILG and the attached agencies for discussion and consideration in plenary.
Conditioned upon the submission of the documents asked for by the chair and our other colleagues of the DILG as well as its attached agencies, the proposed budget of the DILG as well as its attached agencies for 2015 is hereby approved by committee and favorably recommended for deliberation and approval by plenary. So ordered. Thank you very much po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, yung submissions kay Attorney Dublon lang
Yes,
lahat, para hindi magulo. All
Through you,
all
and
requests
then to Attorney Dublon.
to Attorney Dublon. Okay.
Wala pang 1 o'clock, kaya hindi po namin kayo kailangan pakainin. Salamat po sa pagdalo at magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam.